like, yeah, sure. What do you want to do? And he goes, whatever you want. I'll play baseball catch with you. I'm like, okay, great. So we did a little football, we did a little baseball, and then he wanted to go down to the park and play basketball. So we did all three things. Before we did that, he goes, can I make you breakfast? Sure. So he made me a couple of eggs.
You had a day.
Yeah, he's getting good in the kitchen there. It's pretty funny, but his eggs are delicious, and that's what I woke up to yesterday. Between us, he puts a little more pepper on the eggs than I would.
Okay.
But I don't mind it. Honestly, I don't mind it at all. And it was funny. He goes, is enough pepper on there for you? And I'm like, yep, it's perfect. It's good. He's like, I got more if you want more. And I'm like, no, that's fine. But, yeah, we had a good day. And we played a little one-on-one basketball. A funny thing as well, what he knows about basketball is what he watches Syracuse NBA games. So the concept of like pickup games and street ball is still a little foreign to him. So we were at the park. We played one-on-one full court. I mean, even usually if you're at the park and you're playing, a lot of times you're playing half court, 3-on-3.
Yeah.
But no, we had to do a one-on-one full court. So I got my exercise yesterday. And then I have to get a new basketball. This ball I have is it's pretty old, but it's an indoor-outdoor ball. We're on our way to the park. And all of a sudden it started raining. Did you get rain yesterday?
We did.
It wasn't in the forecast, but it like poured for 5 minutes. It
was, and we didn't get any pour. It sprinkled for a little while for us, and then that big cloud just kind of went over, and it was blue sky the rest of the day. So.
Absolutely. So I'm looking, and as he's dribbling, it looks like there's these orange or brown spots on the court, and I'm like, what is the ball shedding? The ball is shedding. I actually have it in my in the front seat of my car. It's now there's just like a cotton layer around the ball, like almost like a fabric kind of layer. But
so all the covering
the grip,
coming
the tack came off the ball.
Wow. So
anyway, but we had a good day. Honestly, it was a great day, and happy. I hope you had a good one too.
We did. So almost all of my kids were home, but that's the way it is these days. So, but the weather was great. I worked more than I probably enjoyed, but it was a good weekend.
Doing what, yard work?
Yard work, and I got to tell you, they call them mock strawberry. It's Indian strawberry or mock strawberry, and it is a weed that has a vine that goes deep into the ground, and then it'll get into anything that you planted, and it'll just choke off anything that you're trying to grow. And this stuff, they say that you can try to use a chemical and it just won't get it, but it'll kill, your best shot is to kill everything, including what you want to keep, and then start all over again, I guess. But the other option is you just keep pulling it out as deep as you can pull it out. And the leaves look like strawberry leaves, but it's just a terrible weed. And once you get it, it's hard to get rid of. We've got a certain section of our yard where it continues to grow and try to get beyond that area. So you're trying to prevent it. But it is on your hands and knees just pulling up these vines, and it's brutal. So anyway, that's a little of Father's Day for me. Joe Griffo, the senator.
You guys didn't do any brunch or anything like that?
We didn't know. We had actually, and I brought in desserts that my mom had made. There's peanut butter chocolate bars in there that are really good. Davey, how you doing in there? Are you rating them in at least decent?
Huh?
Are they good?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a lemon banana. A pineapple banana cake in there too.
Oh,
so check it all out. And my mother literally had a turkey left over, so she roasted a turkey, and we just had turkey sandwiches yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So nothing difficult. Normally I'm like stuck cooking, and I didn't have to do any of that yesterday. Tanya Powers coming up in a few minutes. Texas investigators issue their final Camp Mystic report. That whole thing is just terrible because they knew something bad could happen, but how would they not have a plan to get those kids out in case there was a flash flood? And they didn't, and it was terrible. But their latest report is coming out. And, of course, these guys, the owners of the camp, wanted to reopen the camp. And I think the decision was they would not reopen. I don't remember. WIBX Free Money Question of the Day. I mentioned Senator Joe Griffo was on today. Jonathan Savitz from Fox News Radio, the latest on Iran, as we are now negotiating with Iran to end the war. And at some point over the weekend, they closed the Strait of Hormuz. And this thing just still lingers on. And it is a real problem for President Trump as he tries to get out of this war. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure we're going to be in a much better place than we were before this whole thing started. We'll see. J.D. Vance is negotiating right now.
Yeah, so here's just a couple of the news headlines I have here. A statement from the two countries. Talks between the U.S. and Iran continue in Switzerland this week. A statement from the two countries went on to say, discussions on Sunday, quote, brought encouraging progress. Now, the next story I have here is Senator Lindsey Graham was on, I guess, Face the Nation yesterday. I don't know if he caught any of this. And he said President Trump would probably take the Strait of Hormuz by force if a deal isn't reached with Iran. The South Carolina Republican...
Well, why didn't we do that before?
He says that if Iran contests control of the strait, the U.S. will obliterate them.
Okay, we've heard that, haven't we, over and over and over again? Lindsey Graham should just go back into his hole. He's become like a big super fan. It's really difficult to watch.
Or he could go back to Disney World, right? Wasn't he in line?
Right, he had a blast there, yeah. Just
he had a magic wand.
My opinion. And as I said, Jonathan Savage will have the latest on where we are going into negotiations. Mets had a rough weekend. Really, so did the Yankees, losing yesterday, losing on Saturday as well, Davey. The Mets got pounded on Saturday, but then again, so did the Yankees. What was that, like 11-4, or he's not listening?
11-1, the Mets lost. I know Saturday. I can get the Yankees score for you.
Brutal. And today is, what was the final of the Yankees game Saturday?
Didn't watch any Yankees yesterday or Saturday.
All right.
Kind of out of the loop.
He was at the world's largest yard sale. So the Mets ended up losing Saturday 15-3, and the Yankees lost by a final of...
It was another whopping.
Down here, 10-2.
Yeah, not a good weekend for the New York teams. However, the U.S. Looked really good on Friday. In the World Cup. Mike this morning, very sad to see Davey in such an upbeat mood. What's going on, Davey? You okay in there?
No.
Okay. Well, for those who don't know, we had a power outage, and when that happens, everything goes kerplunk. Is that a good way of saying it? Everything's off. We don't have a clock. I don't even know what time it is.
6:35.
6:35. Yeah. There's a clock here. Okay, 6:35. And today, no voting today. Early voting has officially ended as of yesterday. Tomorrow is primary day, and voting tomorrow is 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. For the Republican and Democratic primaries that'll be held tomorrow. Where are you on all of this? And I got to say, a lot of eyes on NY21. In fact, we have Smullen and Constantino both tomorrow.
Yeah, Constantino was in town, right? Was he?
He was at the Capitol Theater on Saturday and did a speech on American manufacturing. He was in town at 12:30. It lasted about an hour, and then Sheriff Campanelli from Lewis County gave him the official endorsement that he's backing him for NY21.
Wow.
So Constantino was also going door to door. So, matter of fact, I had a couple of games on Saturday, and the guy I was working with said Constantino came and knocked on his door and was asking, could we put some signs in your yard? And
even to this late hour, he's putting signs out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's considered a contact and shaking of a hand, and the more hands you can shake, the better off you're going to be. I got to tell you, I have said I don't know where this race is going, especially considering the chair people of the committees within the NY21. All but 3 have endorsed. 3 have not endorsed, but everybody else has. There's like 8 or 9 of them, and they've all endorsed Smullen.
Well, the 3 that haven't endorsed are Oneida County, Montgomery, and Saratoga.
Yes, and since though their endorsement or non-endorsement has come up, since then President Trump has endorsed, and now Jim Jordan has come to town. I mean, they're pulling out all the heavyweights. Roger Stone. I received several text messages from Mayor Rudy Giuliani. And man, they're all in on Constantino. So
on the other side of the coin, Ann sent us some photos. Ann from Rome.
Smullen was in town also.
Yeah, he was at Damadio's on Friday.
Yeah,
she had. Matter of fact, there's a picture.
She's quite a fan. She's Ann is all in on Robert Smullen. Either way, voting is tomorrow from 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. And depending on whatever your race might be, you may have a primary in your district. NY21 covers Herkimer County, a little piece, I believe, of northern Oneida County and Rome.
Ann sent us photos, Smullen outside of her house, and then I guess she's got some decorations on her garage door that say things like freedom.
Yeah.
And it's the 2 of them pointing at it. Mike Gentile was there as well. I actually have a funny story from the weekend that I'll get to coming up at the Little League tournament, which was several great games over the weekend.
Yeah.
Bill, we have cloudy skies and right now 54 degrees. Talks between the United States and Iran will continue in Switzerland this week. A statement from the 2 countries went on to say that their discussions on Sunday brought encouraging progress. Chief negotiators will brief the committee regularly and lead working groups on nuclear issues, sanctions, and monitoring, along with dispute resolution to ensure the memorandum of understanding is carried out effectively. Senator Lindsey Graham says President Trump would probably take the strait by force if a deal isn't reached with Iran. He was on Face the Nation this weekend saying that if Iran contests control of the strait, the U.S. would obliterate them. Big story here. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is stepping down.
Yeah, what's going on here?
2 years after a landslide election victory. His resignation today marks the 7th different prime minister over the past decade and continues a revolving door trend at 10 Downing Street. Rival Andy Burnham is the leading candidate to replace him at the head of the Labour Party. At least 13 people injured in a drive-by shooting on Chicago's South Side late Friday night. Chicago police said 2 gunmen pulled up alongside a group of people, opening fire before fleeing in an SUV. Firefighters continue to work the scene of a massive warehouse fire in Los Angeles that's now been burning for days. Flare-ups continue at the site of Boyle Heights, where a blaze broke out at the cold storage facility on Wednesday afternoon. The fire has been sending toxic smoke throughout the area. Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency on Saturday. And Toy Story 5 is the biggest box office opening of the year. The film led the domestic box office over the weekend, bringing in over $160 million. Right now, cloudy skies, 54 degrees. It is 6:42.
Damp, cool weather continuing. Clouds around and a few widely scattered showers today. Upper 60s is going to about do it. Showers early tonight, upper 50s later. North Country a little bit cooler with patchy fog by morning. And some fog around early Tuesday, then partly sunny 80. And a beautiful Wednesday, plenty of sunshine 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
As I say, cloudy and 54 at 6:42.
Mike says the Iranians know that dragging this out 60 more days gets even closer to the midterm elections. And I think he's right there. Coming up, we'll talk more about that. And Jim Zecca on the schedule for today. There was a big to-do, if you remember. Keith Schiebel went over to Rozier's place to try to get on the air there, and they would not let him on the air. There were some people that were saying things like, well, you don't let people on the air either. That's just not true. I enjoy opposition on the air. In fact, we put out an invite to Jim Zecca, and he said, I'll come on Monday. Apparently, he's been told he can't come on because he will not be on today.
I have to say, in fairness here, I wish Jim was on today, but Jim called me, and he was with Barb Ames, and she's at many of the protests or rallies or the gatherings, and a very nice lady, so we talked a little bit, and he said, well, why don't you have Barb on? And I said, well, why don't I have you both on? So we had set it up for Monday. He sent me her contact number, and Davey and I were going back and forth a little bit on
they're saying Thursday, right?
Now it's Thursday.
But
yeah.
what do we? The primary
the problem
tomorrow.
I was trying to confirm with Barb. There was 2 numbers listed there. Apparently, I texted the wrong number. So when Jim followed up with me either Friday or Saturday, he's like, "You never reached out to Barb. I thought we were, going to do this thing Monday. Now she says she can't do it Monday." And it was this. Again,
these schedules these people have are really crowded schedules.
I'm
sorry, I can't.
Retired individuals, good for them for keeping busy.
Really,
It was a pickleball tournament this morning, maybe. I don't know.
Probably, yeah. We can't come in until schedule's tied up. We'll never get in until Thursday. Okay, listen, we'll gladly have them on Thursday after the primary, if that's the case. Quick break. We'll come back. Hold tight.
I'm Mike Gentile, and I'm running for Assembly to bring common sense leadership back to Albany. I've spent my whole life in this community, and one thing is clear. People want leaders who show up, who listen, and deliver real results. Families across the 119th District are dealing with rising costs, higher utility bills, and real concerns about the future. They deserve someone who understands what they're going through and will fight for them every single day. Leadership that shows up, listens, and delivers. Vote for Mike Gentile for Assembly. Paid for by Gentile for Assembly.
Coin collectors, take a journey through the wild, wild west as you build a historic collection of the Western frontier's most iconic coin, the Morgan Silver Dollar. Struck from 1878 to 1921 at the legendary mints in New Orleans, San Francisco, and Philadelphia. These historic 100-year-old coins are rare silver treasures from America's frontier era. Receive an authentic Morgan Silver Dollar from each decade the coins were struck, including the very iconic first year of issue in 1878. This is real American history you can hold in your hands. Just call 1-800-681-1533 to start your thrilling numismatic adventure today with the Coin of the Month Morgan Silver Dollar Club, exclusively from Rare Collectibles TV. Acquire a different authentic coin every 30 days for the next 5 months and receive a free cherrywood box set holder with your first shipment to beautifully house your entire collection. Call 1-800-681-1533 to secure yours now and receive a free cherrywood box set holder. That's 1-800-681-1533. 1-800-681-1533.
I'm Robert Smullen, Marine Colonel, 3 tours in Afghanistan, and the conservative and Republican candidate for Congress. I've spent my life serving America. My opponent, a lifelong Democrat. He attacks police, mocked the disabled, hired sex offenders, and now he's spending millions lying about me because he can't defend his own record. The truth is simple. I'm a patriot who served our country. In Congress, I'll be a patriot who serves you.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
There's never been a better time to buy the commercial mower that has your back, Ferris. For a limited time, your Ferris dealer, Clinton Tractor, has the best financing offers of the year. Choose the offer that works best for you, 36 or 60 months. There are even options to skip payments when work is slow. It's never been easier to buy a Ferris. So visit Clinton Tractor today on Meadow Street in Clinton. Ferris, experience suspension. All loans subject to credit approval.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, let's get an update on Texas and that Camp Mystic. That was the deadly July 4th flood that occurred, and they've been doing a post-mortem on this, an investigation. And Tanya Powers is on the line right now. Tanya, good morning. What do we know out of this?
Hey, good morning. This is a comprehensive report. It is quite devastating, honestly. It's 115 pages long, and it was done by the Texas legislature. They had investigators work for almost a year now on this, and the headline of it is, if Camp Mystic had the proper evacuation plans and the required counselor training by state law, there would have been time to get the campers to safety. It's pretty devastating. You have 28 people, including 25 girls between 8 and 10, that died in this flooding, 2 18-year-old counselors, as well as the camp's owner, Dick Eastland. They found that at the time of this flood, there were at least 39 adults who, if they could have been tasked, they were, as the report put it, physically able, and if they had been tasked, they could have helped with the evacuations if they had been trained.
Yeah.
The camp had apparently passed state inspection 2 days before this flood happened. They say that if the evacuations had started when a flash flood warning was issued just after 1 a.m., there was time to get them to higher ground to safety. They didn't do this until 2 teenage counselors that were in cabins near the Guadalupe River ran through the storm. They went to the main office. They reported, hey, there's water coming into the cabins. They asked for help around 2:30. That was an hour and 15 minutes that was wasted that they could have actually been getting those campers and those counselors out.
Terrible. Really just terrible, right? And now they wanted to reopen at least part of the camp, and that was nixed, right?
Yeah, they did not. They have not reopened. Okay. The massive safety failures are just. Yeah, it gets compounded. The more of this you read, it just goes on and on. That they were supposed to have a plan. They had a piece of paper posted in the cabin that told campers to stay in there until instructions were given by staff, I guess, in case of emergency sort of situations. It was a shelter-in-place plan. Obviously, when you've got flooding...
Yeah, not the thing you want to do.
It was not. The plan was not reviewed with camp staff or counselors. They were not given responsibilities to do, so that whenever there was an evacuation, they would know what to do. This was, as one of the investigators called it, a fatal error.
Yeah, terrible. Okay, we appreciate the update, Tanya. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Have a great day. I don't know if her line sounds like that, Davey, if that's just what is going on, or is that part of the update problem? I don't know. Oh, it is. The phone sounds like crap. That's fun. Everything is all messed up here. And we still have these fans blowing because of the sprinkler flood that occurred. Craziness. We were mentioning pickleball. A pickup game of pickleball took a violent turn in Florida recently when a woman assaulted a stranger by hitting him in the head with her paddle multiple times. Michelle Bannister is facing felony battery charges. Here's Stacy Canascaro, who works for Old Coast Pickleball. They must have their own leagues, all of the stuff in Florida. If this will play, here's audio.
That wouldn't be the one who I would pick. That would be feisty at all. That would have trouble coming his way. It would hurt a lot. I can't imagine doing it to anybody.
Well, you're being hit in the head with a racket, right? And these are a little smaller than your racquetball rackets.
Yeah.
So maybe you get a little more of a punch that way.
I'm glad she was arrested, idiot.
Yeah, she was arrested. Yeah, good point. The BBC must have thought the Houston skyline was a bland skyline. The skyline was as bland as British food. So for the World Cup coverage backup, they added mountains to downtown Houston. There are no mountains there.
What?
Yeah. Now a message from the Houston Tourism Bureau reaching out to the BBC.
This summer, enjoy all the FIFA World Cup games in Houston, along with the heat and humidity. But this winter, grab your skis and snowboards and get ready to ski Houston.
It really doesn't exist. So they added the mountains.
That's ridiculous.
I don't understand.
That's so
what do you mean? How do they show this without mountains? Well, it's pretty easy. A lot of flat land.
Can I quickly, on
today
sports?
is National Kissing Day and National Onion Ring Day.
Okay.
I'm not sure the two necessarily go hand in hand.
I just wanted to quickly mention the New York. Locally it's District 10, but the Little League tournaments have begun, and I had a couple games on Saturday, and I just wanted to mention two things. First of all, the games I had were outstanding games. I think the first game we went 0-0 for the first 5 innings, scoreless. Both pitchers were on. The defenses were playing great. Yeah, and it ended up.
They play 7 innings?
6.
6.
So the final ended up being 3-0 for. Utica beat. No, that was a different game. Who did I have in my first game? I'm trying to remember here. I'm sorry.
I do have some people commenting on your umping skills.
Oh boy, there we go.
It's Deeds, who earlier this morning said, "Manasseh, good job calling those games this weekend."
Oh, well, thank you.
Jeff is the Doug Harvey of our area in umpires.
All right, well, I'll have to look up what that means.
Yeah.
But thank you. If that was a compliment, I appreciate it, man.
I do think it was a compliment. And yes, Jawick, Tanya was gurgling. I don't know what's going on with our phone system. One power outage and everything goes to hell.
So, like I said, scoreless for most of the game, 3-0. Whitesboro took that game, so they advance in the tournament. The Little League tournament is double elimination, so these teams I'm mentioning are still alive. Second game, we went 2-2 for most of the game. We end up going extra innings. Oriskany got 1, and Frankfort Valley got 2 in the bottom half, so they win with a walk-off. So we had 2 really exciting games. So aside from all this, I just want to congratulate the kids who played, win or lose. Again, there was a lot of really good baseball at New Hartford Little League this weekend, and I can't stress that enough. The part that made me laugh. Sometimes you hear stuff from parents, coaches, whatever.
Yes.
Well, slashing is when it's called slashing.
In baseball,
you look like you're going to bunt.
Okay.
But as the pitch comes in, you pull the bat back and you swing. You're trying to catch the defense off.
That's not a breakage of the rules. That's a technique.
It used to be in some leagues they don't allow it, but official Little League rules it's allowed.
Do it. Yeah.
So at one point in one of the games, one of the players squared around a bunt, pulled it back, and ended up fouling the ball off. Okay. So a coach had said, "That's not allowed. That's an automatic out." And again, depending on where you go, because local teams have different rules on this. I've umped games where you could do it.
Yeah.
I've umped games where you couldn't do it. So Mike Gentile is the administrator for Little League. And he's
also running for
assembly. But he's got to be there for all the games in case something happens. He's like the administrator. He determines, is this allowed, this not allowed, whatever the case might be. He does the ground rules before the game. So I quickly look over, and he was aware of what was going on, and he goes, in tournament play for Little League, official Little League, it's allowed. So by the time I got back down there, I ran down the line quickly to talk to him. My point is this. The coach is, okay, fine.
How long did that take?
30 seconds.
Okay,
not even.
That's good.
After that, I happened to wander down the line, and I said, and this is a good thing, I said, Mike, I appreciate you being here because when there is something like this, again, we do different leagues and different levels.
Yeah.
They don't have to be upset with us. We have an administrator right there. This is what the rule is. You can do this for this tournament. Well, there was a gentleman there who's like, look, man, I don't want to get into this conversation, but that's illegal and they're not allowed to do it. And I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And someone's going to get it, and it's not going to be the umpire today.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, man, I'm telling you right now, it's allowed internationally, but you can't do that in New York State. And Mike's kind of like, you can. You can do that. He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, but I can tell you right now.
He is the...
Certainly, I can tell you right now it is allowed. He goes, listen, man, I don't know who you think you are, but I'm telling you right now, it's not allowed. Mike goes, not confrontational, argumentative. He goes, my name's Mike Gentile. I'm the Little League District 10 administrator. That is allowed in tournament play. And the guy just wouldn't take no for an answer. Wow. And this was just a spectator. This wasn't, a coach or anything. It just made me laugh because typically I'm on the receiving end of that.
It didn't have to be you.
So I said, all right, Mike, I'll see you later. I just walked away.
Coming up, Mike's free money questions. A post-Father's Day free money question of the day. We'll do that coming up next hour around 7:35. Senator Joe Griffo in studio next hour at WIBX.
Hello, Oneida and Herkimer County Republicans. I'm Charles Potter, your candidate for the 118th Assembly District. I would be honored to earn your support on June 23rd. With 14 years of dedicated service as a county supervisor and the only candidate endorsed by the New York State Conservative Party, experience matters. Please vote for Charles Potter on June 23rd. Early voting starts on June 13th. Paid for by Friends of Charles Potter.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors. Available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls in Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
Imagine this. You're coming down the stairs. You miss a step, but you catch yourself. And that's when you feel it. It's your knee, and it really hurts. Now you have to make a choice. The faster you see an orthopedic specialist, the sooner you'll be on your way to recovery. Choose Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics, now with a clinic open every Wednesday in New Hartford. You'll get fast access to world-class orthopedic care. We have imaging on site, and you'll be treated by Dr. Rochelle Takamoto. She's one of the most respected orthopedists in the area, and she's done more VELYS robotic-assisted surgeries than any female physician in the world. So whether it's a new injury or a long-term pain in any joint, walk into our clinic and get treated by one of the best orthopedic specialists in the area in the shortest time possible. That's Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics, with clinics weekdays in Hamilton and now every Wednesday at 83 Genesee Street in New Hartford. Visit Ortho Emergency.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica. From the WB Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Britain is going to get a new prime minister. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision.
Keir Starmer will step down, though not immediately, as his party works to pick a new leader and prime minister, potentially new parliament member Andy Burnham, who will seek the office. Fox's Jeff Paul reports from London.
Starmer has faced economic pressure as well as criticism for his handling of illegal immigration and the appointment of former Jeffrey Epstein friend Peter Mandelson as U.S. ambassador. He also experienced a souring relationship with the White House after the U.K. didn't join in on the Iran war. President Trump yesterday writing this on social media. He failed badly on two very important subjects, immigration and energy.
The president also threatened to bomb Iran again over the weekend. At times, there were tense talks between the U.S. and Iran with mediators in Switzerland. Vice President Vance was there, saying the initial deal will prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon as negotiations continue for 60 days.
The Iranians also acknowledged major progress in the talks, adding that a deconfliction cell for Lebanon will be the first real test of the understanding. Israel and Hezbollah did not trade fire on Sunday for the first time since March 2nd. In response, Israel lifted all restrictions for civilians in the northern part of the country. In a call with Fox News on Sunday, President Trump said he was disappointed Israel can't put Hezbollah away.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv, now to Washington, where President Trump says work will begin immediately fixing the reflecting pool. He claims it was seriously vandalized. Writing on Truth Social, who would do such a thing? U.S. Attorney for D.C. Janine Pirro tells Fox they'll prosecute those issued citations.
Look, the president has made it a priority to make D.C. not only safe but beautiful.
That pool has turned green, filled with algae, after a company the president hired painted the bottom of the pool dark blue, but some of that paint's peeled off, seen floating in the pool. America's listening to Fox News.
Buy gold and put some silver in your pocket. I know what you're thinking. Everything's expensive right now. How am I going to buy gold? It's Ron Paul. Nowadays, a lot of things are out of your control, but there is something you can do right now to diversify your retirement, and it doesn't cost you anything out of pocket. My friends at Birch Gold Group will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, a time-tested hedge against inflation. Plus, in honor of America 250, Birch Gold is going to give you a special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you purchase by July 2nd. Text the word SHELTER to the number 989898 to get a free info kit from Birch Gold and claim eligibility for this limited time offer. Again, text the word SHELTER to 989898 today.
It was a violent weekend in Chicago. Shootings left 7 people dead, more than 30 wounded, prompting President Trump to renew his call for a National Guard intervention, something Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker has rejected for Illinois. The president wrote on Truth Social he could make Chicago safe in 1 month. There's been a school shooting in the Philippines.
Police say the suspects, aged 14 and 15, were armed with 1 pistol each. We're told they opened fire at a high school in the central Philippines, killing 3 fellow students and wounding 7 more. Most of the dead and injured are girls. The regional police chief told reporters the suspects are close friends who said that they'd been bullied in school. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has ordered an investigation and asked law enforcement to boost school security. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed, barely moving at all before this week's trading. At soccer's World Cup, Iran played to a draw for the second time, 0-0 against Belgium. Cape Verde also tied Uruguay 2-2. Egypt got its first ever World Cup win, topping New Zealand 3-1 in a couple of 4-0 matches. Spain over Saudi Arabia, Japan topped Tunisia. In golf, Wyndham Clark won the U.S. Open, the 3rd major tournament of the year, but he nearly blew it.
Well, Clark started the day 6 strokes ahead of the field. He bogeyed 3 of his first 7 holes. And at the same time, Sam Burns made a charge, giving himself a couple putts late to tie for the lead. Burns ended up finishing 1 stroke back, watching Clark par the 18th as he held on to become just the 9th golfer ever to lead the U.S. Open wire to wire, winning the tournament for the 2nd time in his career.
I'm proud of myself that I battled through. I mean, things really could have gotten away from me, and I stood tough. And yeah, I would have liked to win by more, but as long as you win, it doesn't matter.
Clark, courtesy of the USGA. Greg Thompson, Fox News.
In NASCAR, Corey Heim won his first career Cup race on a first-of-its-kind track, a road course set up on a U.S. Navy base near San Diego, California. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Still dealing with clouds outside right now. We have 56 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 7:05. This news update is brought to you by Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. If you like to walk the trails, the Wilderness Park Trail in the town of Deerfield, you're being warned about a bear sighting that occurred there. It happened on Sunday around 6:30 last night. A Town of Deerfield resident reported a bear sighting while walking the trails at the Town of Deerfield Wilderness Park and Trails on Walker Road. The bear was sighted at the western portion of the trails near the entrance to the Loop Trail, which is the northwestmost trail in the park. The bear was not aggressive and ran across the trail from the resident after being seen. Members of the public are urged to use caution and be aware of their surroundings if they are using the trails. A domestic dispute leading to charges of one man in the village of Clayville. The United County Sheriff's Office responded Saturday. They say charges were filed against 49-year-old Christopher Wadsworth. 1 count of criminal mischief in the 4th degree. He was processed at the Wyman Law Enforcement Building and arraigned in Cap Court. He'll return to court at a later date. The Utica Zoo officially saying goodbye to Brewfest after almost 30 years. The zoo announcing the event is being retired. It began in 1998 and served as a fundraiser while also allowing people to sample dozens of craft beers, seltzers, and ciders. The Utica Zoo thanks everyone who supported the event and played a role in making it successful. They also say they have plans for a new signature event in the future. And, Bill, a sad story out of Saratoga. There was a fire at a barn in Saratoga last week, and 17 horses tragically died in that fire.
Wow, terrible.
There's going to be a memorial service coming up scheduled for Sunday at the Saratoga Casino Hotel, where many of the horses competed in harness track racing there. The animals were killed Tuesday after the barn they were in on Nelson Ave caught fire and burned to the ground. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:08. Here is a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Damp, cool weather continuing. Clouds around and a few widely scattered showers today. Upper 60s is going to about do it. Showers early tonight, upper 50s later. North Country a little bit cooler with patchy fog by morning. And some fog around early Tuesday, then partly sunny 80. And a beautiful Wednesday, plenty of sunshine 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies, 56 degrees. It is 7:08. From the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, rough weekend for both the Mets and the Yankees. The Yankees dropped the last two to the Reds. Elmer Rodriguez taking the loss Sunday, the final there 4-1. In fact, the Yankees have lost 3 out of 4. They visit the Tigers for a 3-game series beginning tonight. The Mets were beat up in Philadelphia 15-3 Saturday, 6-2 last night as the Baseball Night in America game. David Peterson took the loss. The Mets lost the last 2 in the series. They now head back home. They'll welcome the Chicago Cubs to Citi Field to start a 4-game series coming up tonight. Over the weekend, if you had a chance to take in the Syracuse Mets, Francisco Lindor was in the house.
It's going to be very interesting to see how Lindor acts, how Lindor performs with these young kids who have really performed quite well in his absence.
Yeah, playing over the weekend at NBT Bank Stadium in Syracuse, Lindor was in Cuse, part of his ongoing rehab assignment after straining his calf in a game against the Twins. Boy, 2 months ago to the day.
Yeah.
Been without him for 2 months. No word yet on when he will return to the New York Mets lineup.
I think we'll see him sooner than later.
Yeah, I hope so.
If that makes any sense.
Wyndham Clark won the U.S. Open. He, as Dave Anthony said at the top of the hour there, almost blew it at the end, but the 32-year-old finished atop the leaderboard at 4 under par. He also won the tournament back in 2003. The defending champion, J.J. Spawn, did not make the cut. Let's see. Tom Kim finished 3rd, and Sam Burns finished 2nd in the event. What else did I want to mention here? The NBA draft is tomorrow in Brooklyn. Still, Giannis Antetokounmpo has not been traded, although reports say he's still on the block. And Smitty at NASCAR. I don't have it in front of me here. Yes, I do. Corey Haim wins the event at Naval Base Coronado in San Diego, California. And are you into the World Cup?
I've been watching the U.S.
I if it's on, I'll kind of turn it on and have it on in the background.
I still don't understand. They go 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, we're going to add some time. We'll be adding 6 minutes. I understand there are these moments where there's downtime and the officials are keeping, but it to me is such a unique thing where you don't know how long the game really is going to be. I mean, it's going to be 90 minutes of play, but you don't know if they're going to do an extra 5 minutes or an extra 10 minutes.
Right.
And who knows what could happen during that time.
Yeah, it is an interesting aspect.
And some of these flops, we could criticize the flops in the NBA.
My goodness.
But the flops in soccer are like, wow, really?
Yeah, they go down like they've been shot in the leg, and then as soon as the ref pulls the card, he hops back up and he's completely
good now.
uninjured.
I have recovered. All is good. Yeah, it's something. But man, what a sport, and the crowds are enormous.
Yeah, it really is a major thing. I think they were estimating the economic impact to be like over $3.5 billion in the United States.
River Hills Properties is ready to help you up here in upstate New York. whether you're looking to buy or sell your home. And in sunny Florida, they have a full team of agents ready to help you there as well. So it's basically River Hills North, River Hills South, but the same service. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. They don't use the lockbox. And if you're looking for that white glove service, reach out to River Hills with offices in Barneveld, in Little Falls, in Newport, and now in the city of Rome. And to the south, in beautiful Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. One thing that Steve Houck had talked about is he bought a house in Florida, but still has his home up here. And he said it was so great to work with a River Hills agent who he knew, he kind of felt like he had the inside track, and they knew basically the layout of the land in Florida. So he felt like it was a great advantage as opposed to going in and working with someone that he had no idea what they were about. That's the River Hills way. Reach out today at 315-896-1009. Davey Hobica's free money question of the day this morning is worth
$100.
Okay.
Man,
Plus how much?
He's in a mood today. Right? Are you noticing? Davey, how you doing? What's wrong?
I just get frustrated. Nothing's working.
Yeah, I realize that's frustrating. What do you want? To make you feel better? Maybe do a little more than 100?
Whatever.
All right. Whatever. Let's make it at least 150.
Okay.
All right. $150. We'll do the free money question coming up around 7:35.
Jowick says, take the day off, things are down, or Biden it.
Biden it. What does that mean? Basement. Go into the basement and hang out.
So, Smitty, do that for the rest of the day.
The Good Feet Store, if you're dealing with discomfort, pain in your knees, your hips, your back, there is help out there, and it's the Good Feet Store. Arch support specialists. You can walk right in without an appointment and change your quality of life. The goal, of course, is to be pain-free. And the Good Feet Store, they can help. According to a lot of people who have used them, including I have, free fitting and test walk. Just walk in. Or you can call them at 315-999-3910. A three-step system includes strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. These are inserts that go into your current shoes, or you can get new shoes at the Good Feet Store. 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
I'm Mike Gentile, and I'm running for Assembly to bring common sense leadership back to Albany. I've spent my whole life in this community, and one thing is clear. People want leaders who show up, who listen, and deliver real results. Families across the 119th District are dealing with rising costs, higher utility bills, and real concerns about the future. They deserve someone who understands what they're going through and will fight for them every single day. Leadership that shows up, listens, and delivers. Vote for Mike Gentile for Assembly. Paid for by Gentile for Assembly.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. When you've worked hard to build something meaningful, protecting it should be part of your plan. At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we help families navigate the complexities that come with significant assets, especially estate taxes and long-term care considerations. We break down the implications, explore smart strategies, and help reduce future tax exposure and nursing home costs. Because no two families are alike, every plan is tailored to fit your situation.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
The universal truth of women's shoes, the cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lisanne thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet Store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by and try them for yourself. We're located in New Hartford on Commercial Drive across from Hobby Lobby.
I'm Robert Smullen, Marine Colonel, 3 tours in Afghanistan, and the conservative and Republican candidate for Congress. I've spent my life serving America. My opponent, a lifelong Democrat. He attacks police, mocked the disabled, hired sex offenders, and now he's spending millions lying about me because he can't defend his own record. The truth is simple. I'm a patriot who served our country. In Congress, I'll be a patriot who serves you.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
Hello, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti.
This year marks the 250th birthday of the United States, and we've assembled a special commission to help organize events across our community. In the months ahead, we'll highlight why this is such a historic time for our region. From the signing of the Declaration of Independence to the turning point of the Revolutionary War, the Battle of Oriskany. You'll learn about the people, events, and local impact that shaped our nation. Our goal is simple, to help you love the history where you live, right here in Oneida County.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
So is that new news, or did that come over the weekend? I didn't see it.
I didn't see that this weekend.
Alan Greenspan, the former Fed chair, has passed away. Married to Andrea Mitchell from NBC.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure she is there they are right there together. Pretty sure she is the younger of the two by several years.
Yeah.
Although she ain't young anymore. And they might have adopted a child. Let's see. What do I have here? I don't know if Jeff is a Doug Harvey. I think of him more as a Paul Harvey. Good day. There you go. That's a great compliment.
And for Deeds and Jawick, thank you. That's very nice that you said that on the stream there.
And in Rome, looking forward to hearing from the best senator ever, Senator Joe Griffo, who will be in studio coming up in a little bit. And then this comes from Mike, who
saying
says,
that I got no mojo. I got no mojo.
Davey has no mojo. What is going on? All right, Davey, you got to be able to tell us. What's the problem? The music is perfect. Yeah, what's the problem? What's wrong?
I've just been down since yesterday. Father's Day was kind of sad for me without my dad being here.
Yeah.
It's going to be 5 years.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of by myself yesterday, you know.
Well, that is sad, and it's not easy.
And then you know who? I took her down to see her dad.
Your lover?
Yes.
Yeah. You took her down to see her dad.
I dropped her off, and then she said, "Oh no, this ain't going to be long."
And it was long.
Yeah, I ended up getting a call at 2:00 this morning.
Oh, no.
Can you come and pick me up?
Oh, no. 2
So
a.m.?
Yeah.
Baby's got his
So I went off on her.
It just won't work on you. That's Davey, our man Davey. He's got his mojo working. Oh, yeah. It won't work on you. He's gonna take your phone call, and then he's gonna hang up on you. That's it. That's our man Davey right there this morning, going over to Stittsville. He calls that Mojo Land. He's gonna mosey over to Stittsville, a place he calls Mojo Land. Oh yeah. He's gonna have all you women in Stittsville under his mojo command. That's right. That's our man Davey on the phone. Davey's got his mojo working. Davey's got his mojo working. Davey's got his mojo working. Oh yeah. Davey's got his mojo working. Yeah. Enough of that. Davey's got his mojo working this morning. That's pretty good, Davey. Pretty good. This also, Mike. Zecca is always at Rozier's headquarters. So the fact that he didn't know that Jeff didn't call or whatever is just ridiculous. Also, Rozier increased the rent for the headquarters, which he owns and rents to the Republican Party.
Correct.
From $150 to $500 a month.
That's correct.
Barb Ames.
That was effective in January of this year.
Okay.
Based on the information that I have.
This is just opinion of this
person.
person.
That's a more than 300% increase.
This is just
he must
opinion.
have been expecting gas prices were going to go up.
This is an opinion of this person, not necessarily of us or this radio station. Barb Ames is a clueless candidate. She wanted to be on the Kirkland Council, and her only issue was signage on the highway where she lived. She wanted to lower the speed limit in front of her house. It's a state road, and the council has absolutely nothing to do with it. She is clueless. She is a groupie, a Roser groupie that they put up for an office.
And that was a comment that came in.
Comment that came in. This is all opinion. Someone's opinion. Any other comments that you want to get to this morning? They're pouring in today.
Let's see. Ann from Rome says, good morning, Ann. Elected officials backing Constantino are supporting a mudslinger. That's what she says about.
Well, there's going to be I'm most interested in this race.
Me too.
And I got to tell you, up until recently, I have felt it could go either way. It could be close. It could be a blowout by one or a blowout by the other. But I got to tell you, I kind of feel like there is an advantage in this race, that one candidate has an advantage over the other.
And I think it's Anthony Constantino.
I agree. Yeah. I think he's just pounded and pounded and pounded, spent so much money. I think that and the other part is he's gone from being that crazy guy, bull in a china closet that will walk in and start a fight like he did with us. He went from that to, must be Roger Stone was like, okay, this is part of it. Now you're going to lower down, bring the temperature down, and you're going to come in and act normal. And I think that's kind of what has happened. He is all those crazy things and the fights, all that stuff has gone away, but he continues to pound Robert Smullen with some things that are absolutely just not true.
Well, that's right, Mr. Keeler. Right, that's his new tact with you.
Yes.
But we briefly had a conversation about this last week, and I don't remember if it was on the air, but I agreed with your point. He's done a good job of repositioning Robert Smullen as who he was as a member of the assembly, military veteran. Was he a colonel?
Colonel, which is a step away from being a general, for God's sakes.
And he's, I don't know, I do think he's kind of repositioned him. Not that.
Well, and the problem is you do have an arrest. It was involving a tax situation. So no matter what happened there, whether it was a mistake, which is what Robert Smullen says, or not, he has that to run with. And then you add you have Jim Jordan up here, of all people, stumping for Constantino, along with Roger Stone, Rudy Giuliani, and the President of the United States. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of pull the president has. And I would say he probably has pretty good pull in the 21st Congressional District.
I do. And also bringing up the arrest thing, I do think that's old news, and I don't know how many people will be impacted by that.
Well, it's old news. Most people don't even know about, but when you show it and it's factual, and then you go to see, well, is it real? Let me see if this is real. And all of a sudden the story comes up.
Yeah.
So that can be damaging when you're pounding it in TV commercial and radio commercial after commercial. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he did anything worse than ever. He claims it was a mistake, and I would accept that answer. But the fact that he's pounding it, Constantino pounding it, I don't know. I don't know where this goes. I'm really, this is a real tough one to call.
I do think
and then
Constantino
the
does have an advantage right now.
Mike says the no handshake made Smullen look small and petty. And then the fact that he kind of lied about it afterwards and said I didn't see him, and then he changed his story. All of these things don't bode well. I don't think he's done a great job of defending himself against the barrage of negativity that's come from Constantino.
I agree.
So that's all I have to say. In studio here this morning is...
And even, you know what? I have to go one more step further. I don't think he's done himself well. Like in interviews with us, we've talked about this. Do you think Trump made a mistake in endorsing your opponent? Well, he can't even go to the point of saying, I think Trump was misinformed, or I think Trump isn't seeing this correct.
I support Trump. However, I think in this case, of course, I would think that he made a mistake.
I'm a better candidate than the other guy.
I am a better blah, 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 blah. Easy to answer, but he has not been able to answer
There's been
those questions.
A couple times when he said basically that he thought Constantino was too brash and he didn't like the way he talked and things like that. And I said, well, don't you have that same criticism for President Trump? And he wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I think I had to ask him 3 times before he'd actually address the Trump part of it. He kept going back to Constantino. And then when he was on last week, there was something that I asked about, I don't know if it was the Iran war, but I had to follow up because he would not directly answer the Trump part of it.
Do you remember the question I asked, the big one? I said, Robert, you're on a plane with the Pope, Gandhi, and Jesus Christ. And all of a sudden, the plane's going, remember when I asked that question? All of a sudden, the plane's going down.
I don't remember this.
I think that's the beginning of a joke of some sort. Sorry. Oh, I didn't ask him that. All right. I'm joking.
Did he reply with, so it's the Pope, Gandhi, and
Bill,
President Trump?
I would not save Gandhi because he's already dead. Come on. That's just ridiculous. But I would ask Jesus to save us all. Maybe that would be the good answer. I did not really ask him that question. But he did struggle. He does struggle answering the direct questions. And believe me, listeners have noticed that. And you hear from them often saying he just can't answer those questions. So, listen, this has been tough. His credibility, he's gone after his credibility. And Constantino has gone after his credibility. Meanwhile, this is coming from Constantino, who's like a crazy man out there and has not been in the military. But he's gone back with he did not support President Trump. He was a Democrat, blah, 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 blah. The problem is Trump still endorsed him.
Yes.
That's the problem there. I wouldn't even get into all of that stuff because Trump still endorsed him.
Bill, I have to say I completely agree. The idea that you're going to convince voters, whether he was or not, whether he was registered,
he didn't support
that
Trump.
He's not on the Trump train when he had the biggest sign ever for a political candidate.
Yeah. He made a statue. He had a statue built.
Right? Yeah. And all this stuff.
Of Trump.
I don't think the average voter's going to buy that argument when President Trump comes out and says, no, I got his back,
your guy.
not yours.
He's your guy. He's my guy. He's your guy. And Roger Stone. And then out of nowhere, you get Jim Jordan to roll up his sleeves and come into upstate New York for Constantino. So I think this can be a little damaging. NCAA had this athlete that got caught gambling. He was a quarterback, right?
Can I just say that Mr. Smullen he's misguided, he's confused, he's defensive, combative, and that is why he is coming at people. He's scared. He knows he's going to lose, and he's going to lose royalty. And after meeting Mr. Constantino, he has very large hands. I wouldn't shake his hands, or the president's.
To be honest, yes. I don't think Smullen thinks he's going to lose.
I know, but he is. He is. But Brendan Sorsby.
Okay.
The quarterback.
He's the quarterback who was gambling and has said, wait a minute. I have a sickness and I am an addicted gambler.
Yes.
And for that reason, I should be treated differently.
Correct. So the conference commissioners got mad at the NCAA. The NCAA filed an emergency injunction for relief from the 7th Circuit Superior Court judge in Texas to make a ruling on his eligibility. Now, this wouldn't happen before June 22nd. The date to declare for the NFL supplemental draft is the 22nd. So instead of taking his chances...
He's already declared, though, hasn't he?
Sorsby declared for the supplemental draft. And
how good is he of a quarterback?
He was projected to be a first-round pick for 2027.
Wow.
He would have probably been a second to third round pick in 2026. But with everything he's going through now, the supplemental draft has not been had since 2021. It's basically for players deemed ineligible after draft day. And the way it works is a team has
to give
up
chance.
a team has to give up a draft pick in their normal draft to get him. So say the Cleveland Browns want him. They offer up a second-round pick. They give up their second-round pick in 2027 to get him now.
Which team is it, Cleveland? Which team needs a young quarterback right now?
There's several teams that need a young quarterback. Cleveland, I would say.
Well, you
Miami.
want to have at least three quarterbacks on your staff, right?
Right, but they're tough to afford.
Yeah.
But he's going to be coming in low on the totem pole, and he's also coming off.
He will probably be easy to afford.
Well, teams are talking about giving up a second, possibly a third-round draft pick for him.
All right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It was a major switch of events. His own conference went against him. The athletic directors went against him. The coaches went against him. Gambling, non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You're done.
Well, going to be interesting. But now it's the NFL where gambling also you can't.
Yeah.
But now they can at least get him the help where he would have no excuse.
Well, that's the thing. I think he's going to get less help because there's so much more that's required of you as an NFL player. He's not going to be able to go to treatment. He's not going to be able to get help. He's going to be in meetings. He's going to be trying to learn to play.
He's not going to be able to gamble.
I don't think he's going to gamble.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, he's got.
Think he learned his lesson on his sickness.
If he's got,
it's a disease.
It's disease. Yeah. Okay.
Handlers around him, and whatever team might sign him, I would assign somebody to make sure that he's not on these gambling websites. I do see here that he went through a 35-day residential treatment program at Algemus Recovery Services, which I guess is in Arizona. Look, I wish him the best. I hate to say this. I know gambling is an addiction. I know that it is. I don't know if I completely buy into this whole case that's been made, but I wish him the best.
Can I end this? Can I put a cherry on top of this topic? Mike says,
you'll bet me $5 that what?
That's close. Mike says,
it's a loophole, everyone.
I don't know. Drafting this guy seems like a real gamble. There you go.
Pun intended.
There you go. All right. Hobica's free money question is worth $150 this morning. We're going to get to it. Davey's now got his mojo going. He's feeling much better. I'm going to ask you with an update first, though. Senator Joe Griffo coming in a few minutes at WIBX.
We all know career politicians lie, but Robert Smullen, well, he's something else. Here's why. First, he denies being arrested for tax fraud, but court records prove he was arrested July 2018. He denies owning a Chinese solar farm, but he did, and you can see it for yourself at solarsmullen.com. Smullen says he's not endorsed by the ultra-liberal New York State Teachers Union, yet he bragged about their endorsement on social media. Smullen says he's a Trump supporter, but President Trump has endorsed his opponent and businessman Anthony Constantino. Anthony Constantino isn't a lying career politician. He's a businessman who built an upstate business creating thousands of jobs. The choice is clear. On primary Tuesday, June 23rd, vote Anthony Constantino. He's nobody's man but yours. Early voting begins June 13th.
I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Utica in the Mohawk Valley, upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express's 4th of July sale is on. Remember, no one in New York State has all the brands under one roof that we have, and right now, save up to $1,350 and take 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers on names like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta, iComfort, Avocado, and more. Remember, every day we have no credit check payment plans as well. In New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. In Oneida in the Glenwood Plaza where the movie theaters are. In Rome on Black River Boulevard next to Ollie's. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. Go to mattressexpressny.com. And remember, their sale is our sale. Bring in any locally advertised price on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. We want to earn your business. Come see us at Mattress Express.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Bill, we have cloudy skies, 58 degrees. It is 7:36. High-level, high-stakes talks between the United States and Iran wrapping up Sunday in Switzerland, with mediators Pakistan and Qatar saying the discussions brought encouraging progress. The two countries agreed to form a high-level committee to provide political oversight of the mediation process. Vice President J.D. Vance, who is still in Switzerland, spoke today and shot down reports about the Iranian delegation having walked out of the talks at one point. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is resigning after winning a landslide election in 2024. President Trump predicted this moment in a Truth Social post on Sunday, saying Starmer was, quote, failing badly on immigration and energy. His resignation today marks the 7th different prime minister over the past decade. Repairs to the damaged paint at the National Mall reflecting pool will begin immediately, according to President Trump. The president claimed in a social media post Sunday that he has inspected the pool. He blames the peeling paint on vandalism. He also claimed over the weekend that chemicals were used to damage the paint. Meanwhile, the contractor responsible for that project said the work will be done and is covered by the warranty. Los Angeles firefighters continue working toward full containment of a warehouse fire in Boyle Heights. It first broke out at a massive cold storage facility on Wednesday. Mayor Karen Bass says thousands of masks and air purifiers will be distributed today. California Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency in response to that fire. A vigil being held today for an 18-year-old tourist killed in last week's horse-drawn carriage crash in Central Park. Meanwhile, horse carriage drivers are undergoing fresh training today, with rides in Central Park suspended until tomorrow at least. Union officials say the training will cover how to secure and maintain control of a carriage horse. The city council holds a hearing next month on a bill that would permanently ban those horse carriages. Your thoughts on that?
Well, listen, I hope they don't ban them. I know there have been a lot of animal rights activists who have been calling for that. However, the problem here is the driver of the horse carriage got off the carriage and took a picture of the people that were on the carriage, and some noise must have spooked the horse, and the horse went running without anybody driving it, and he's been fired because of that.
And before we get to our forecast, fans and forecasters in Philadelphia keeping a close eye on the weather there for today's World Cup match between France and Iraq. Severe storms could have an impact on today's game, scheduled for a 5 p.m. start. FIFA rules call for play to be interrupted and fans to be moved to an emergency shelter if lightning strikes within 8 miles of the stadium. It'd be interesting to see what happens there. Right now, some clouds. Here's your latest forecast from the Weather Channel.
Damp, cool weather continuing. Clouds around and a few widely scattered showers today. Upper 60s is going to about do it. Showers early tonight, upper 50s later. North Country a little bit cooler with patchy fog by morning. And some fog around early Tuesday, then partly sunny 80. And a beautiful Wednesday, plenty of sunshine 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy right now, and we are currently at, let me get the latest for you here. Yeah, 58.
It was supposed to be kind of cool this week, but they've changed the forecast, and we'll be up near 80 degrees through the week. And a few sunny days on the way after we get through rain scheduled for today. Davey and Sobika's free money question of the day. This morning we're kicking off post-Father's Day with $150, and you are looking for caller number what?
6.
Sixth caller right now at 315-736-0186. $150 on the line. Caller 6 right now at WIBX at 315-736-0186.
Albany is broke, and Dan Fusco knows it. Highest energy costs, highest taxes, highest healthcare costs. These issues affect you and your families. And Dan knows it. With 50 years of private business experience, Dan is determined to fix Albany. Vote for someone who has long-term solutions, who will listen and work for you. Vote Dan Fusco on June 23rd.
Paid for by Friends of Dan Fusco.
You know, around here, a good vehicle isn't just transportation, it's family time, weekend adventures, and getting where life takes you. Maybe you're loading up the kids for a day at the Utica Zoo, or you're heading north to Enchanted Forest Water Safari for the weekend. Or maybe you're pointing the hood south toward Cooperstown and the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Wherever the road leads, you want to know your vehicle is ready for the trip. And right now at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, purchase any 4 Bridgestone tires and receive a $150 rebate. It's a great time to upgrade your ride before your next adventure, because when you're headed somewhere important, peace of mind rides along too. Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, driving our community since 1980. Trusted for quality, known for service, and helping get you there safely, mile after mile. Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, Yorkville, Utica, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com. We'll keep the wheels turning so you can keep making memories.
Meet Anthony Constantino, running to represent us in Congress.
First off, you, I see through your game.
Wannabe rapper, wannabe Republican. But he can't rap his way out of reality. He's a lifelong Democrat who helped fund Trump's impeachment. After the George Floyd riots, he called our cops racist and sold Kill the Police stickers. He claims he's America first, but he shipped jobs overseas, even replaced workers with robots. Anthony Constantino, worse than a wannabe. He's a fraud.
And I know just how this ends.
The real conservative in the race? Robert Smullen, a Marine colonel. He fought for our country. Smullen was appointed by President Trump and will fight for the America First agenda. He's the Republican conservative and law enforcement endorsed candidate. On June 23rd, vote Robert Smullen for Congress. Proven patriot, ready to serve.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
The Whitesboro Central School District is hiring bus drivers to support its transportation team. Serving 7 schools and more than 3,100 students, Whitesboro is one of Central New York's leading school systems, with an impressive 96% graduation rate. As a driver, you'll enjoy flexible scheduling, benefits, and opportunities for summer work. It's an ideal role for retirees, career changers, or anyone ready to make a real impact in their community. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or visit 20 Wood Road in Whitesboro today.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, good morning. It's the day after Father's Day. And, you know, before you know it, it's going to be 4th of July. You're going to see people heading out for 4th of July festivities. And by the way, the fireworks have already started.
Yes.
I heard some fireworks in Utica that it sounded like a building exploded. They're real fireworks.
So illegal.
Yeah. They're not they're legal if you're licensed to use them, and clearly they were being used illegally.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Would you agree with that, Senator?
Well, I didn't hear him, but I know that a lot of people are now engaged in purchasing. There are legal fireworks now.
Yes, yeah.
But you should be very careful. And if
Be
you
careful.
don't know what you're doing, I would advise not to do it. And
there are some that if they were to misfire, you would not be able to get your body and your hand away. It could cause
there are
fatal.
a lot of accidents that you hear and unfortunate, and it's avoidable. So.
Yeah, by I guess not doing it. Let me do Hobica's free money question of the day. It comes from the Hobica law firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica. Call them if you need legal services. And $150 on the line here this morning. And John is in Utica. Good morning, John. Good morning.
Morning.
So you know the deal. You have 7 seconds to answer the question. Are you ready to go?
Okay.
All right, here we go. 7 seconds. Get your answer in before the buzzer for $150. Here is your question. What country won the first ever World Cup? Ready, go.
Argentina.
Was it Argentina? These phones still sound like crap, Davey. Argentina? No. It was the first ever host team. Anybody know what that was?
Brazil?
Uruguay.
Oh, wow.
Was the first ever host team back in 1930. As a consolation, no $150, but we will give you we have like throwback WIBX t-shirts. And Davey's going to hook you up.
Where?
Huh?
Where?
I found one right over here. That's our consolation. I'm not giving away stuff in the studio. Why, do you want one?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get you one.
Okay.
John, can you give him your shirt?
He can
No, we're going to give it to you. Hold on a second. Davey's got you taken care of. Stand by. We were told no consolation prizes. Your consolation is the fact that we have a fan in the hallway to take out the mold smell. Well, thank you for that. Thank you so much.
It's like coming into Chicago.
It is the windy city. In studio now, Senator Joe Griffo. Good morning.
Good morning, all.
And session is over.
The regular legislative session is over. Normally runs from right after the first of the year in January to sometime in June. They can call us back at any point now. But
is there an issue you think she'll call you back for?
No. Right.
Well, it's an election year, so it's highly unlikely because of that.
What went on between the governor and Blakeman over the weekend? Did you see that over an AI commercial?
I had a wedding.
And you did. There was an AI commercial, and it was Blakeman's commercial against the governor, and she cried foul, saying it was AI. And if you remember, it was me and Tim Reed, Real Men Get Tested. We did the first AI version of the governor in our commercial. But
Boeheim was real, though, right?
Boeheim was real.
All right.
Did you get you didn't see it?
I did not see it. I didn't even hear about it, actually.
What do you think? I think it's fair to say that if you're going to run a commercial and it has an AI actor in it, that a little disclaimer is probably a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we've looked at legislation to do that in Albany. Look, this is going to be very challenging as you move forward, right, to find that balance with the use of AI. And so I think you're going to see a lot of communities and states. I think ultimately it's probably best handled in a uniform national way, determining how we're going to apply, how to put safeguards in. I think the real benefits to AI, in my opinion, will be clinically as we move forward.
I agree.
But there are some real problems and challenges with it, too, right now. So we are dealing with potential legislation to at least identify, as you indicated, that this is AI-driven. But it's amazing. Yeah. I know you're pretty good at this stuff. So
it's amazing what can be done with AI and how it can, you can utilize it to help you with your own work or with your job. Manaski.
Yep.
I thought you had something.
Can I hit you? Yeah, can I hit you with a couple budget issues? I want your take on them and what was actually done. Because when you see these headlines, sometimes they're misleading. I'm on the governor's page now, so I want to get your reaction to and your understanding of what some of these things are. We talked with Marianne Buttonshaw as the budget was in the process of being passed. She said, and I would imagine you would agree with her, that on this insurance reduction, she says, nobody has shown me the formula or so-and-so is going to save X amount of dollars on their next plan. What was actually done to your understanding?
So I think ultimately, though, when you look at the budget and you put policy, and we got to start with that, right? Because I think it's wrong to bring these policy issues into the budget.
Absolutely.
Because then ultimately many of them are neutered. And I think what you've seen under this governor particularly is doing something that amounts to nothing, essentially. Because you can say, well, like, for instance, we can get into that too, the rebate checks, is that going to make a difference or not in your utility bills? So,
no.
True. That's true. But it is something, right? She did something, but is it sufficient or significant? No, in my opinion, as you indicated. When you look at your utility bill for the month, $120 isn't even going to cover the 1 month that you're seeing and the rising costs. And
I think you overstated. I think it's just 100. I think it's 100 for single, and if you file jointly, you make less than $300K. I think it's $200.
Yeah, I don't have the specific numbers now ultimately as it was finalized, but you're right. You're in the right ballpark, and that's the point I made. And it's not enough just to criticize that effort. We've offered constructive alternatives. I will criticize it because I think, as you indicated, I don't think it's meaningless, really. And somebody would say, well, $120 still, you got to acknowledge that. Well, I am acknowledging it. But what you could have done is we talked about putting a tax holiday on. There's three major factors, in my opinion, as to driving cost of energy. And one is the taxes. The other is the the new policies that are being put in place that contribute to that. And finally, it's the utilities themselves and how they do that. In fact, we had a utility issue this morning that we're dealing with Grid and a company, and how unresponsive a utility can be sometimes to trying to be there when they need to be there to make things happen. So when you look at all those things combined, what can you do? One is a tax holiday. The other is what she did do is she went into this green bank that exists right now. It's over $3 billion in NYSERDA, the New York State Energy and Research Development Agency, and took some of that money. We could have brought more of that to give more of a reduction to people, permanent, not a one-time kind of thing, but how do we try to say, here's what you can do to get some permanent relief? And then finally, it's to reconvene the Public Service Commission, have them really do their jobs and say, you know what, we're not going to approve a rate increase because the people can't afford that right now. I know there are escalating costs in business, and even in the utilities face that they have to pay things that we see rising costs across the board, right, and various aspects to reflective in the cost of living. But I still think that you've got to at some point say, can't do it right now, right? So if we did all of that, I think it would have made a difference. Now to go to the insurance.
Oh, before we go off that, just one more on the energy. You know, there was some discussion about nuclear and the fact that it's a supply and demand issue and we need more electricity on the grid. Was anything done to address that?
So not really. I think we're looking at ways right now that you're going to import energy, which is not a good thing, like going and taking it from Canada. We have to look at better ways to generate energy, as you indicated. And when you want to talk about clean energy, nuclear is a part of that. You're seeing more of a willingness, I think, to adapt and adopt that. And you're seeing in Europe how that's been done more successfully, safer than people worried about in the past. So there's some elements to it, but I don't know how it's going to transpire, and ultimately will we see facilities being built, which I think will be an important part of this clean energy agenda. Because when you're talking about clean energy, it's not just solar and wind, right? You've got to look at the nuclear aspect, hydro, which we do have in the St. Lawrence and Niagara projects. I don't think you abandon anything. I've always indicated in my position and my past roles too as chair of the Energy Committee that we need a diversified portfolio. I think it just makes sense when you look at that. That's what we're missing, common sense. Let's approach this with balance in our lives and to say, it's the old adage, remember growing up, you don't put all your eggs in one basket?
Yes.
Why would we do that now to be totally reliant on one particular sector of energy and then live and die with that? I think one of the greatest threats to the nation right now is not so much when you talk about terror attacks, things of that nature, is taking the power grid down. I mean, you saw what happened in California when they go down, and in Texas in the past. That has a devastating impact on communities and people.
Sure.
So I think we can't be reliant. We need redundancy, and we need a variety. So I don't see we're moving, and if you look at what happened in the electric school bus mandate, for instance, doesn't make sense when you talk to the people here on the ground in transportation, school officials. They've all said they're unreliable and they're unaffordable.
And even bigger, it's all a problem. But you lack the reliability. Wintertime is difficult. However, we're watching the post office use these electric post office postal trucks, and they work really well even in rural areas. But you're not carrying the load you'd carry of a bus full of students. The other problem is, in order to be able to charge all these buses, and then to work on these buses, you need new crews to be able to work on electric engines. You need new bus garages. This is just so much money and by the way, school districts are struggling right now.
And so what we did is to push it back 5 years, which is a step in the right direction.
But not enough.
My position was repeal it and start from scratch. Talk to the people in the industry. Talk to the school officials to say, can this and how can this be done? They put in, just to show you the hypocrisy, there's about $500 million for the electric school buses to help local school districts. You know what the price tag is? It costs the 700 plus school districts in the state of New York over $10 billion. So, I mean, that's hypocrisy to say, when we're debating on the floor, you'll hear the sponsors of the clean energy bill say, well, there's money to help with this. well, you're not being reasonable and you're not really being honest with people.
Yeah.
'Cause that's not going to do anything. Now, if you really want to pay for the whole thing, that'd be a different story, right? Is the state going to put forward a $10 billion? But no, they don't want to do that. That goes to what we've always talked about with mandate and regulatory reform.
Unfunded. Yeah.
Excuse me.
We're all going to do it to make you feel
I'm
better.
going through puberty. So the insurance thing, what was done this year from the various aspects in the budget, some of it was fighting back against criminal fraud, which obviously, I mean,
that was the big story.
Yeah, we need to do something on that, but was it sufficient? It expanded statutes to prohibit hiring, requesting, encouraging, and orchestrating or inviting another person to stage a motor vehicle collision.
Oh.
Another thing
that was already illegal, though, wasn't
well,
it?
to a certain extent, right? But you've increased this. We've increased premium, increased explanations. Now we require the insurance company to inform the policyholder of the exact amount of a premium increase. I mean, that's what I'm telling you, right? So when you're really talking about the reducing litigation, they talk about redefining the definition of serious injury. So these were the kind of things that were put in. There were elements in the budget as part of this initiative on reducing insurance costs. Will it have an impact? Possibly, to a certain extent. Will it be significant, though, or meaningful? Probably not.
No tax on tips for hardworking. This is the headline. No tax on tips for hardworking New Yorkers. But what if you know a lazy bartender? Does she have to pay the tax or no?
So
only the hardworking ones.
Yeah, the tax on tips was actually taken from the federal government. If you know, we had been advocating for no tax on tips and overtime too, no taxing on overtime, and they included one element of that, which is no tax on tips.
So I think that's wonderful, and that's great. But what about bonuses? What about bury the bonus tax?
Well, let me just say one thing.
You get a
on
bonus, and they tax the crap out of it.
I remember this was something. Boy, this was like 20 years ago. But having a conversation with it was actually Roanne DeStito, and she was advocating for it. And I think her argument kind of made sense with me. With Wall Street being in New York, remember the whole golden parachute?
Yeah.
So when these guys are getting $50 million payouts, like $20 million of that is going to state coffers.
Yeah.
Which heard, at least at that time, and I don't want to misquote or anything, but essentially the justification for having such a high percentage on bonuses was because of Wall Street and the amount of money that it raised for New York State.
But again, if we're going to do this, right, really do it. If you're not going to tax tips, just say we're not, like the feds had indicated, right? And
I'm going to have you hold. We're going to do this on the other side of the other side of the break, if we could. Remember, tomorrow is Election Day. 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. is voting day out there in the Republican and Democratic primary. News is coming up next.
From the WB Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Optimism after U.S.-Iran talks. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We made a lot of good progress. We did exactly what we wanted to do.
Vice President Vance, a short time ago at the Lake Lucerne Resort in Switzerland where the negotiations took place, he says that includes nuclear progress and the push to prevent Iran from having weapons.
We, and this is probably what we're most excited about as Americans, the Iranians have agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country.
As for another big part of the conflict, oil and other shipping?
We wanted to build a mechanism for keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. It is open.
But Fox's Jonathan Savage reports
it was not all smooth sailing. Iranian state media said negotiations were paused after what it called an insulting message from President Trump. He posted on social media, "We'll hit Iran very hard if the Iranians don't stop proxies causing trouble in Lebanon." Technical level talks will continue through the week.
Now, Hezbollah and Israel did not attack each other yesterday for the first time in months. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer resigned this morning.
Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first.
President Trump has been critical of Starmer over immigration policy and for Britain not helping the U.S. with Iran. On top of that,
you've had local elections in which the Labour Party were decimated by a lot of other parties, by Reform in particular. And, of course, you had Peter Mandelson, who was the man that Keir Starmer picked to become ambassador to America. And it turned out he had close relationships with Jeffrey Epstein.
Starmer will stay on until there's a new prime minister, and Fox's Benjamin Hall also reports there's a front-runner already.
Andy Burnham, who is the mayor of Manchester, finally won a seat in Parliament, and he is widely considered to be the next contender.
A famous economist has died. Alan Greenspan was chairman of the Federal Reserve almost 20 years, from President Reagan to George W. Bush. His wife, famous journalist Andrea Mitchell, put out a statement that Greenspan died at their home this morning of complications of Parkinson's disease. He was 100 years old. America's listening to Fox News.
Buy gold and put some silver in your pocket. I know what you're thinking. Everything's expensive right now. How am I going to buy gold? It's Ron Paul. Nowadays, a lot of things are out of your control, but there is something you can do right now to diversify your retirement, and it doesn't cost you anything out of pocket. My friends at Birch Gold Group will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, a time-tested hedge against inflation. Plus, in honor of America 250, Birch Gold is going to give you a special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you purchase by July 2nd. Text the word SHELTER to the number 989898 to get a free info kit from Birch Gold and claim eligibility for this limited time offer. Again, text the word SHELTER to 989898 today.
Now that summer has arrived, the Supreme Court is winding down its term with fewer than 20 cases left to decide. We'll get more rulings this week, some of them high profile.
One pending case will determine whether to uphold the president's executive order ending birthright citizenship. Executive power is at the heart of several other cases, including the president's ability to fire agency, board, or commission members. One case involves the firing of an FTC commissioner. The other involves the attempted firing of a Federal Reserve Board governor. The justices also heard a case that will determine the circumstances by which an administration can end temporary protected status for a group of migrants. Another case involves whether states can have rules that ban transgender athletes from women's and girls' sports, and yet another case pertains to how long states can accept mail-in ballots after Election Day. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
On Wall Street, coming off a long holiday weekend, hardly any movement right now for stock futures, and oil prices are also barely budging. Woody and Buzz back on top of the box office.
Moviegoers are still turning out for Toy Story.
Tech's invaded our house, too.
I don't know, Jesse. Toys are for play, but tech is for everything.
The fifth installment of Disney and Pixar's Toy Story with the biggest opening of the year so far, earning $160 million at the domestic box office. Internationally, it pulled in $152 million for a global start of $312 million. Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day slipped to second place with $17 million in its second weekend. Obsession comes in third with $14.2 million in its sixth weekend. Kathleen Maloney, Fox News.
At soccer's World Cup, Iran played again at the Los Angeles Stadium. Some Iranian Americans protested, booing the country's anthem. Iran played Belgium to a draw. Cape Verde also tied Uruguay. Spain shut out Saudi Arabia 4-0. Japan blanked Tunisia by the same score. Egypt beat New Zealand 3-1. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Cloudy skies, 60 degrees with some rain on its way right now. It is 8:05. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. This update is brought to you by Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. A bear spotted on a local walking trail. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office saying that a town of Deerfield resident reported a bear sighting while walking on the trails in the Deerfield Wilderness Park and Trails last evening at around 6:30. That trail located on Walker Road. The bear was sighted by the western portion of the trails. The man who spotted the bear said it was not aggressive toward him and ran across the trail and away from the resident after it was spotted. Members of the public encouraged to use caution and be aware of their surroundings if they are utilizing local wilderness trails.
If you're in Deerfield, though, I don't think that's your chances probably are a little increased of seeing a bear than maybe New Hartford. Although there have been several bear sightings in New Hartford.
The United County Sheriff's Office also investigating a domestic incident that occurred in Clayville. 49-year-old Christopher Wadsworth faces charges after completion of the investigation. He's accused of criminal mischief in the 4th degree. He was arrested and arraigned in Cap Court and is due to answer those charges at a later date.
I think the Bears are all leaving Chicago. That's why, right? So,
that's it.
I
knew that was
leaving Chicago.
Yep.
And,
boom.
After almost 30 years, the Utica Zoo announcing the retirement of its Brewfest. The event began back in 1998, served as many years for a fundraiser, also allowing people to sample dozens of craft beers, seltzers, and ciders. The Utica Zoo thanks everyone who supported the event and played a role in making it successful. They also say they have plans for new signature fundraising events in the future.
Do we know the reason for the cancellation?
I was told that they were going to cancel it because we normally have given a traditional toast at that. I do not know why.
Okay, all right.
Because it always was very successful.
Yeah, there's
well
always been
attended
people. Yeah.
And in Saratoga Springs, there is a memorial service that's set to happen for 17 horses that were killed in a tragic barn fire. That memorial service will happen this coming Sunday at the Saratoga Casino Hotel. But last Tuesday, there was a fire at a barn nearby. In fact, it was on Nelson Ave, and 17 horses perished in that fire as the barn burned to the ground. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Damp, cool weather continuing. Clouds around and a few widely scattered showers today. Upper 60s is going to about do it. Showers early tonight, upper 50s later. North Country a little bit cooler with patchy fog by morning. And some fog around early Tuesday, then partly sunny 80. And a beautiful Wednesday, plenty of sunshine 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy and 60 at 8:09. From the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, a rough weekend for both the Mets and Yankees as each team lost on Saturday and Sunday. The Mets were the featured game of the week last night on NBC. They lost to the Phillies 6-2. It's back-to-back losses for the Mets, who are now back home in New York. They welcome the Cubs to Citi Field to start a 4-game series tonight. The Yankees came up short in their rubber match against the Reds. 4-1 the final there as they dropped 2 out of 3. Elmer Rodriguez takes the loss. The Yankees have lost 3 out of 4. They now visit the Tigers to start a 3-game series tonight as well. College baseball, UNC beats OU, Oklahoma, 6-2 the final there. The final game, it's a best 2 out of 3 series. The deciding game will happen tonight in Omaha. Wyndham Clark is a major champion once again. He won the U.S. Open back in 2023 and won it yesterday by just a stroke. He collected his 5th tour victory, finishing at 4 under par. Sam Burns finished 2nd, and Tom Kim came 3rd. Corey Haim wins the NASCAR race. It was held in San Diego. The driver of the number 67 led Bubba Wallace by more than 10 seconds to claim the checkered flag there. At the World Cup, some scores here. Spain beat Saudi Arabia 4-0. Belgium and Iran played to a scoreless draw. Uruguay beats Cape Verde 2-2. Excuse me, no, it was a 2-2 draw there, excuse me. And Egypt took down New Zealand 3-1. The United States will next play on Thursday. Coming up today, it's France and Iraq, Norway and Senegal. Jordan squares off against Algeria. And I believe there's one more game. Let's see. Argentina plays Austria as well today.
Okay. Are you watching any of the World Cup?
I watch Team USA when it's on, and I heard you as you were coming in. I kind of like this, where you give a headline and you talk about it a little bit. That's pretty. We may have a new format here.
I like it.
But I heard you. The two things I probably misheard you coming in. I was listening to you guys in the car. And you talked about Wyndham Clark, and I thought you said the first time he won in 2003, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, he would have been a teenager or something.
Sorry,
then.
I did say that.
See, so I was listening pretty good then.
2023.
You said that now. You said 2023 now. And then on the soccer, I loved what you said about, I'm with you. I'm not totally familiar with all of the rules and regs
how do they
of the
get
game.
the extra time?
The extra time is kind of like, what's going on here? It's like, stop this, we're winning. You know, it's like 90 minutes, stop it, right? What are you doing?
At least in like baseball, you know that if it's going into extra innings, it's because it's tied.
Right.
Or football, it's because it's tied. Right. But the European football, the clock just continuously runs, and these flops, apparently that time gets added back in.
Also, if a ball goes out of bounds, it takes a little bit to retrieve it and stuff like that.
The question is, though, how do you know how much time?
Kicks.
You don't.
If the coach does the coach aware of this? The official says, right, there's going to be 6
think so.
minutes. That's the thing. That's kind of...
They'll add 6 minutes, but you got to keep your own time.
Right.
And your time might be different than the official's time.
The other thing is, if they add 6 minutes or 8 minutes, it doesn't mean it's exactly 8 minutes. They might play 9.5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
There's extra time on the extra time.
Yeah, it's like, let's give these guys a chance. It's kind of like that.
It ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, it's odd. And then you saw the story out of Casanova. The head of the Pride group in Casanova. He's on the school board in Casanova and has a business in Syracuse. Was charged with having, this is a charge, innocent until proven guilty, having inappropriate conversations with an underage person. It's a pretty bad story, and the person's on somebody said yesterday, well, of course, someone like that who's going to be doing something inappropriate, allegedly, would work with a school. But if you're on the school board, you're not having contact with children. Your contact is with adults on the school board.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's a bad story.
So I'm sorry. There's also an allegation that he had child pornography on his phone.
A lot of allegations there. Not good.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
But let's credit law enforcement with this one. I mean, the state police do an extraordinary job. I know some members of the Crimes Against Children unit in the state police. They do remarkable work, as well as here, the Sexual Abuse Task Force. That's a very difficult job to undertake because of what you're dealing with. But to all of those individuals who work to protect children, they do a great job.
And I've seen several people from the gay community come out and speak about this, saying this is not indicative of the gay community. I do recall having, it was really when I was a kid, there was someone who was gay, an adult. I'll never forget, he said to my mom, just to let you know, no interest in your children. We're gay. We don't. We prefer adults. We have no interest in your children. So be careful about making the leap that is an unfair leap.
It's absolutely unfair, and people shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, when a straight person gets arrested for such a
Correct.
thing,
We don't say all straight people are
correct.
Yeah. Listen, if you're having a health issue and you need a doctor, a primary physician, or maybe even a second opinion, they're accepting new patients at the Falcon Clinic. All doctors under one roof at the Falcon Clinic. Dr. Cheryl Mattern, Dr. Kosminski, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemaleski, and others all under one roof, and it is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. So you can reach out and get an appointment. They are now accepting new patients. Call today at 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. And with Father's Day still happening, New York Sash, maybe I'll save. I'm gonna double check because copy might have changed on that. Let me tell you this. Right now at Stepani Mazda, for the month of June, you can save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing on a new 2026 Mazda CX-50 with 1.9% on CX-50 hybrids. 0.9% on the new 2026 Mazda CX-70, CX-90, and 0% on PHEV models. Plus 2.9% on the new 2026 Mazda CX-30 and CX-5. See Ricky Z, or anybody at the dealership for details. As Rick says, let's make your deal where it's always easy to do business. Steep Pawnee Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Imagine this. You're coming down the stairs. You miss a step. but you catch yourself. And that's when you feel it. It's your knee, and it really hurts. Now you have to make a choice. The faster you see an orthopedic specialist, the sooner you'll be on your way to recovery. Choose Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics, now with a clinic open every Wednesday in New Hartford. You'll get fast access to world-class orthopedic care. We have imaging on site, and you'll be treated by Dr. Rochelle Takamoto. She's one of the most respected orthopedists in the area, and she's done more VELYS robotic-assisted surgeries than any female physician in the world. So whether it's a new injury or a long-term pain in any joint, walk into our clinic and get treated by one of the best orthopedic specialists in the area in the shortest time possible. That's Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics, with clinics weekdays in Hamilton and now every Wednesday at 83 Genesee Street in New Hartford. Visit orthoemergency.com.
Constantino won the debate, and the moment everyone's talking about proved it. Trump-endorsed businessman Anthony Constantino delivered a commanding performance against career politician Robert Smullen. Constantino talked about creating American jobs, building a company with over 1,000 employees, and standing up to Democrat boycotts and political attacks, all while self-funding his campaign to serve the people of New York's 21st District. Smullen appeared angry, defensive, and unprepared, but the most talked about moment came at the end. After praising Smullen's military service in his closing remarks, Constantino walked over to shake his hand. Smullen refused, turning his back in front of the entire audience. Constantino later said, "If he can't shake my hand, how can he work with people in Washington?" The contrast couldn't be clearer. On June 23rd, vote for Anthony Constantino. He's Trump-endorsed, the job creator, outsider, and fighter. He's nobody's man but yours. Early voting starts June 13th.
I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Did you know your most treasured rugs can look new again? At ABC ChemDry, we specialize in premium area rug cleaning. From treasured family heirlooms to fine rugs from around the world, our trained specialists use a careful 5-step process: inspecting, dusting, cleaning, drying, grooming, and protecting, so your rug always gets the expert care it deserves. Don't wait. Call ABC ChemDry today at 315-738-1111 to schedule a drop-off or pickup.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. You can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. France is currently trading at over 16% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out $590 if they win soccer's biggest prize. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TURF to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
I'm Robert Smullen, Marine Colonel, 3 tours in Afghanistan, and the conservative and Republican candidate for Congress. I've spent my life serving America. My opponent, a lifelong Democrat. He attacks police, mocked the disabled, hired sex offenders, and now he's spending millions lying about me because he can't defend his own record. The truth is simple. I'm a patriot who served our country. In Congress, I'll be a patriot who serves you. I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
At Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, we are dedicated to helping you understand your benefits and how to use them. It's one of the reasons why, for the 3rd straight year, we have been named #1 in customer satisfaction among Medicare Advantage plans in New York, and #1 for ease of doing business by J.D. Power. We were named most trusted, too. We remain committed to giving you high-quality coverage and the best possible Medicare experience. Learn more at medicare.excellusbcbs.com. For J.D. Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
If you're looking for smart, balanced talk to wrap up your day, tune in to The Guy Benson Show. Weeknights at 7 will break down the biggest stories in politics, culture, and the media with sharp analysis, lively interviews, and a dose of humor. From Capitol Hill to the day's hottest headlines, we bring you the facts and the conversation behind them. If you miss it during the week, catch the weekend edition Sunday afternoon starting at 1. That's The Guy Benson Show, weeknights at 7 and Sundays at 1 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Keeler in the morning, Keeler in the morning.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, in studio this morning is Senator Joe Griffo. It's the end of session. Manaski's pounding him with
I have some
questions.
things here I think that are worth talking about for sure.
All right.
And it's the first time, another unique thing that happened this year is that we had this collision of the end of session and then the conclusion of the budget.
Well, it was 2 months late. It's not like the stars aligned. They didn't do the first part of the job.
And that's an excellent point, because people saying, you hear this verbiage in Albany, isn't it better to have a good budget, a late budget that's good, than a bad budget on time? And my counter to that is, how about you do your job and get a good budget done on time?
Yeah.
Because that's what you're, and you know who's proved you could do that is this governor's predecessor.
Yeah, Cuomo did.
He did it for 8 years in his first 2 terms, where the budget was done on time. And there was policy in there, even though I disagreed with that then, and major policy sometimes. And yet he proved that and he did it in divided government. What you've had here now is you have one-party control, which they've asked for, to say, we're going to show you how we can run this state. And what we have now is a budget that was 2 months late, 15 budget extenders, and I think we're approaching $277 billion. Originally was projected at $268. I think it's going to go to $277 right now, which is a $23 billion increase from last year.
Wow.
That is larger than probably 12 to 15 states' annual budgets.
Would that buy the buses? Good question.
Yeah, it would buy.
Yeah.
Definitely buy the buses, right?
Buy the
2
buses.
A quote here from the governor: every proposal included in this budget was a fight for New Yorkers and their future. Who was she fighting with? Democrats.
She was fighting with her own party, correct. And again, when you look at that, when they said, give us everything and we'll show you how it can be done, so they now have the infighting. And the problem is what she did is amounting to nothing, though, right? For instance, you're talking about the insurance issue that she talked about, the confronting energy costs. But as I said, was it a step in the right direction? Yes, I'll give her that, right? You're moving in something that you need to address and should do. Mm-hmm. The problem is I think they're insignificant. And as a result, are they going to have any type of meaningful impact on providing relief to New Yorkers? And I don't believe so. Even when you look at the money that was given out to localities this year, I mean, this is crazy too. We looked at New York City is getting almost $8 billion. When you look at various programs and things that are being directed towards the city of New York, which allows Mondami now to say, look at what I did. I balanced the budget. Well, you did it with the taxpayers' money of New York State. That's how you did it, because she knew that they were going to have a problem there. They're looking to bail out a number of cities with just aid. They call it AIM funding, aid to municipalities. And they gave some additional money to Utica. You saw that Mayor Galimi talked about it, but it was insufficient. I mean, these cities here, Utica, Rome, Watertown, Oneida, they're all struggling, and they need help too. But here's what we did. We gave New York City in special assistance $695 million. Buffalo, $55 million. Syracuse got $20 million. Rochester, $20 million. Albany, $40 million. So when you look at this, and you look, again, it sounds political, and to a certain extent it is. They're all Democratic mayors who are facing significant property tax increases. The mayor of Buffalo was a member of the Senate, Sean Ryan, one of my colleagues. And when he got there, he wanted to do all these things, too, that were going to cost money. And as a result, they were facing significant, huge deficits, and we went in and bailed them out. That's wrong. I mean,
they got the new stadium. Well,
and they got the new stadium, too, right? But my point is that if you're going to help everybody, not just certain people, and if you're going to make decisions, there's consequences. You know, Mondami, it's not so much about... I disagree ideologically with a lot of his initiatives, but it's also his inexperience. I mean, he came in from the legislature, never having any type of executive experience, and now having these ideas. There's money associated with it, but he doesn't have it, and he can't do it the way he wants to tax his way out of everything. So now the state of New York is going to provide that money to accomplish what he wants, but it's on all our backs.
It is interesting, though. His numbers, approval rating, not low. It's really quite shocking. You know, New York is younger and more progressive than it's ever been.
True, but I mean, there's a cost associated. I think one thing you learn is nothing is free.
Right.
So determine how you're going to pay for these.
I'm not necessarily. I'm not arguing over whether whatever he's doing is right or wrong. What I'm saying is that right now his approval rating is pretty high.
And I agree. That's one for the pollsters to try to
figure
explain
out
to me.
Yeah.
And then one more quick: cut middle class taxes, lowest rate in 70 years, and also raise New York's minimum wage. What will the new minimum wage be? Do you know?
I think
I didn't see a ton of reporting on this.
Me neither, but that's indexed right now. What we did in the past, we've indexed it. I'd have to look at the new number that they're putting in. I know that our Medicaid spending went up over $48 billion. It's increased 85% in the last 8 years since they've had total control, and we still have all these problems with Medicaid too. I can check for the new.
Well, it says here, and it's tied to inflation.
Yeah, that's
future
something
increases.
that we have done before, though. So that's
but,
a continuation.
It's going to go up over $20, and see, at least in the city, I would think.
There was
close to that right now.
Yeah, it was. There were two different wages. That was something
one for
negotiated,
New York City and upstate
when there was divided government, and the city had a specific wage, and then upstate had another. A couple of years ago, it was tied to inflation increases.
I'm probably going to regret this, but Steve Cully is. You were on his podcast a while back.
I was last year.
Yeah. They feed you food. We brought in desserts for my mom.
Okay.
Wow.
You should try one of the peanut butter chocolate.
Thanks for the warm intro.
Just saying.
But your mom is a great lady, though, so I'm sure she's a great cook.
She's really good.
I got invited for holiday dinner once.
Yes, you did.
She thought we weren't going anywhere. That's how good his parents were.
Yeah.
Dad and Mom said, come over for dinner.
Come on for dinner.
I'm using a sentence on you, sir. Senator Griffo, Steve Cully, best podcast host in the universe. You are a ranking member of the Higher Education Committee, I believe. Correct. What are your top concerns about college affordability? Because tuition is skyrocketing. Workforce training is becoming lower and lower, and access to higher education is becoming smaller and smaller in New York. Central New York.
Take, for example, the cost to go to Syracuse University.
Oh, yeah.
And yet they're in financial trouble. They get $85,000 a year.
Yeah, when you look at the cost of higher education is astronomical right now. And what we're doing in some instances, you have various programs where if you go to the SUNY system or CUNY, there's certain initiatives that were undertaken that basically you can go tuition free. Which is something as an alternative for those who want to pursue higher education but cannot afford, say, a private school. So the opportunity exists, but I think what we need to do is look at this holistically. What is driving these costs from the tuition, the cost of running a college right now? What can we do? We can increase grant programs that are available, but we've also got to get a handle on what's driving the cost. And quite honestly, I haven't sat down with the private universities outside of the wage schedules and the costs of operations and maintenance of facilities. It just is really very challenging right now.
And they're hoarding the endowment of these colleges. A lot of the
I think a lot of the money. The problem is a lot of the money is going into sports, and
there's also a generator, though. It's a generator.
It is a generator.
When you talk about Syracuse, that's an interesting aspect. Because I think the ACC requires a certain amount of contribution, right, to the conference.
Yeah.
And so you've got to figure a way to make that
the ACC is one of the only conferences that does not do revenue sharing.
It doesn't.
You make what you make by school.
And is there a cost to be a part of the conference, though, that you have to contribute to the conference?
No.
No.
There's an entrance fee to join. Once that's paid, year by year, whatever you make in television revenue, whatever deal you cut for yourself, you get to keep. That was the way they were able to keep Clemson and Florida State from leaving the ACC. Now you can mute my mic.
Okay, good. I was just waiting for that. Thank you. It's why you're seeing more kids come out of high school and go into the trades.
But there's another. But that's
which is a real opportunity.
But that's a real opportunity too, because not everybody is cut out for an academic higher education degree. I mean, I think I admire and respect people who are in the trades. I mean, when you look at the work they do, you see the end result.
Well, the fear has been that we pushed so hard to send kids to college that we forgot about plumbers and electricians and et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, you see the CTE program in Utica, the new building. Former Assemblyman Anthony Brindisi and I worked on trying to make that career path an option more viable than it had been. And I think you're seeing more and more of that, and I think it's a great thing. When you're at that point in life where you have to make those decisions, there are a lot of options. It's higher education, it's the career path through the trades, military service. So there are a lot of things that people can pursue based upon their skill set and their interests.
And they don't end up with any college loans when it's all said and done, which is a real big problem. We'll wrap it up with Senator Griffo coming up in a second. I know Manaski has a couple more. But an update first.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors, available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls and Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Hello, Oneida and Herkimer County Republicans. I'm Charles Potter, your candidate for the 118th Assembly District. I would be honored to earn your support on June 23rd. With 14 years of dedicated service as a county supervisor and the only candidate endorsed by the New York State Conservative Party, experience matters. Please vote for Charles Potter on June 23rd. Early voting starts on June 13th. Paid for by Friends of Charles Potter.
We all like convenience, right? ATMs, takeout food, drive-through pharmacies. Now, Bremer's is making it just as convenient to enjoy your favorite wines and spirits with Bremer's to go. It's simple. Place your order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 on your first order with our mobile app. Order during store hours for pickup within an hour. Hey, you can even call us when you get to the store and we'll bring your order right out and load it in the car for you. Now that's convenience. Maybe you're planning a party. Maybe you want to stock up on your favorite wines, or you just want to save time when you're out and about. Whatever the reason, at Bremer's, we're all about incredible customer service. So when you're on the go, we are too. Order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 with our mobile app. Order during store hours for pickup within an hour. It's Bremer's to go, available 7 days a week from Bremer's Wine and Liquor on Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
Right now, mostly cloudy skies and 59 degrees, maybe some rain depending on your location, but it is on its way to the area. Talks between the U.S. and Iran are set to continue in Switzerland this week after an initial meeting on Sunday. The two sides with the U.S. team led by J.D. Vance held first discussions on the memorandum of understanding that aims to come up with a concrete plan to end the war in 60 days. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is stepping down after 2 years. President Trump predicted the moment in a Truth Social post on Sunday, saying that he was failing badly on immigration and energy. His resignation today marks the 7th different prime minister over the past decade and continues a revolving door trend at 10 Downing Street. Former Fed Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan has died. He was 100. The American economist died as a result of complications from Parkinson's disease. Greenspan served as chairman for nearly 20 years under Presidents Reagan, H.W. Bush, Clinton, and W. Bush. The man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk scheduled to be in a Utah courtroom today. The judge is expected to rule on a motion from Tyler Robinson's defense team seeking contempt against prosecutor Christopher Ballard. They accused Ballard of talking to the media about his opinions regarding Robinson's guilt. The vice president of a school board, the Cazenovia School Board, facing charges. It's alleged that he received and possessed child pornography. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Travis Longo's phone was seized by state police investigators. It was taken on June 18th, and on that phone, numerous images and videos of child porn were found. Some of that content found on Longo's phone included videos depicting the sexual abuse of infants And they say that he had received some of those from an internet-based messaging application. And Toy Story 5 was a big hit at the box office this weekend. It was certainly number one as far as rankings, bringing in over $160 million. Here is a wet Monday Weather Center forecast.
Damp, cool weather continuing. Clouds around and a few widely scattered showers today. Upper 60s is going to about do it. Showers early tonight, upper 50s later. North Country a little bit cooler with patchy fog by morning. And some fog around early Tuesday, then partly sunny 80. And a beautiful Wednesday, plenty of sunshine 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Again, cloudy skies, 61 degrees with some rain on the way.
In studio is Senator Joe Griffo. And do you have anything else? Because I want to get into...
You want to hear from Lance?
Sure.
Please ask Mr. Griffo if he still believes in term limits. If so, has anything been done to have them implemented in the future?
Yes, I do. And one of the things people will say, well, you've been there for a long time, but yet you're preaching about it. I will practice what I preach when I can get everybody to agree to do the same thing. I mean, I want to change the rules, but until the rules change, I'll play by the rules that exist because I don't want to disadvantage our community. If I knew that I could step aside tomorrow like George Washington and everybody would then say, all right, I'm doing 2 terms and I'm out, that would be a great thing, and I'd be willing to do something like that. But I don't see it, so we continue to stay there to urge that something change. We have legislation. It is sponsored in both the Assembly and the Senate. But there's not an interest or a willingness on both sides of the aisle, quite honestly, to really advance this. But what I was able to do is get the Senate, and this will be the first test of this. I actually was challenged by the Speaker of the Assembly at the time, saying, if you really want to do this, why don't you do it in your own house? So I brought it back to the Senate, and we passed a rule change which limits the time a leader can serve to 8 years on both sides, as well as chairs of committees. And rankers, that you get 8 years and that's it. Now that will be tested next year because Senator Stuart Cousins, who is now the majority leader, president of the Senate, will be coming on the 8 years. Wow. I think that means we should abide by that and respect that rule, but rules can be adjusted. So we were able at least to put that rule in thanks to our efforts. I hope they continue to respect that. I think it should be a statute, a law.
We had a conversation earlier about sometimes rules change in baseball and other sports. But you're indicating almost that because the Democrats have control and she's a Democratic leader, they would just alter it to allow her to stay longer?
It's possible. We've seen that with term limits. You saw that right here in Utica, right, at one time where they altered the term limit law to make it like another extra year. And New York City did it with Bloomberg. So I think we got to, it's something we shouldn't do. So I do believe in it because I think that's an opportunity to continue to just change the structure and the dynamic for if you're going to see the things that you're seeing happen right now. There is a counter argument for institutional knowledge. I mean, there's opportunities. Like in our case, we can navigate this system well now. But I just think that it does work, and I do continue to support it.
I want to ask you about gerrymandering. That's going to be something that we're probably dealing with again as we redistrict all over again.
Yeah, I mean, you'll give me a whole show on this one because it's a very complicated but yet easy issue. And I think people everywhere that I have talked to, and I concur, that anywhere, anytime, it's not good in their best interest. And New York really took a step in the right direction under former Governor Cuomo in divided government again, where we heard the people say, stop it. We did, passed a constitutional amendment. The way that works is you have to pass 2 terms of the legislature. Then it goes before the public. Public voted overwhelmingly to say, yes, we want an independent, nonpartisan redistricting effort. Now, fast forward, and you had a change in power, and one-party control tried to mess with that a few years ago. And
that was a mess.
They successfully passed the amendment, but guess what? The voters of the state of New York said, no, don't do this to us. We told you what we wanted. Now you're trying to undermine what you originally did that we asked for, and to their credit. And so now this is the last effort. Now you're hearing it's because other states are doing it, so we have to do it to counter that. But here in New York, you have a process that should be respected.
Right.
In fact, the last time the lines were drawn by a independent master from Carnegie Mellon under a court order. And so under this new system, you could potentially have congressional districts being redrawn what it basically says, it could be mid-term, which means every 10 years you do it. Now it could be every 5, but it could also be every 2 years almost.
Right.
This is crazy. And you would never know who your representative is. So how are you serving the people when you're doing that? Like what we're doing right now with 21, 22.
Yep.
Half is this, half is that.
Well, it's terrible that the Utica Rome is split.
Yeah.
Into 2 districts.
So that's a whole show one of these days to get into it. But the public will have an opportunity again to engage.
Last question. A lot of people still complaining that they're getting bills from the New York State Thruway and places that they weren't. How is that happening? And
I think, again, it's the system. Unfortunately, the software that's being used, the companies that have been hired to do this. I agree. We continue to help constituents from our office dealing with the issues, to interact with the Thruway Authority to say it's got to be changed. We've got to do something different and better. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
But yet, I think it's still a lot of these issues are happening. I think, number one, the bill is it's indecipherable. You can't read the bill. You can't make sense out of the bill anymore. And then secondly, there's wrong charges that are attached to the bill also, saying you were somewhere that you weren't. So we'll continue to work with everybody on that, but we've got to fix it.
How many people don't catch it?
You're right.
And they just pay
You're
it.
right.
Yeah. Senator Joe Griffo, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Same.
All right.
Are you adding something?
Oh, I just wanted to say I'm the best podcast host in the universe, and I love you.
Oh, I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you.
There you go.
If you ever need a bodyguard.
Thank you.
Okay.
He looks cool with the shades and everything.
He looks, he's something. Yeah, he's something. Quick break, hold tight. Coming right back at WIBX.
Albany is broke, and Dan Fusco knows it. Highest energy costs, highest taxes, highest healthcare costs. These issues affect you and your families, and Dan knows it. With 50 years of private business experience, Dan is determined to fix Albany. Vote for someone who has long-term solutions, who will listen and work for you. Vote Dan Fusco on June 23rd.
Paid for by friends of Dan Fusco.
Utica in the Mohawk Valley, upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express's 4th of July sale is on. Remember, no one in New York State has all the brands under one roof that we have, and right now, save up to $1,350 and take 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers on names like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta, iComfort, Avocado, and more. Remember, every day we have no credit check payment plans as well. In New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus, in Oneida in the Glenwood Plaza where the movie theaters are, in Rome on Black River Boulevard next to Ollie's. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS, go to mattressexpressny.com, and remember, their sale is our sale. Bring in any locally advertised price on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. We want to earn your business. Come see us at Mattress Express.
You wouldn't drive a car without suspension, so why mow without it? Ferris Commercial Mowers set the bar as the first and only manufacturer to integrate suspension into their mowers, allowing you to go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Whether you're a professional cutter or a homeowner that wants to mow like a pro, Ferris is there with the commercial-grade mowers to keep you going strong. Visit the Caledonia family today at Clinton Tractor to set up a test drive and feel the Ferris difference.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
We all know career politicians lie, but Robert Smullen, well, he's something else. Here's why. First, he denies being arrested for tax fraud, but court records prove he was arrested July 2018. He denies owning a Chinese solar farm, but he did, and you can see it for yourself at solarsmullen.com. Smullen says he's not endorsed by the ultra-liberal New York State Teachers Union, yet he bragged about their endorsement on social media. Smullen says he's a Trump supporter, but President Trump has endorsed his opponent and businessman Anthony Constantino. Anthony Constantino isn't a lying career politician. He's a businessman who built an upstate business creating thousands of jobs. The choice is clear. On Primary Tuesday, June 23rd, vote Anthony Constantino. He's nobody's man but yours. Early voting begins June 13th.
I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Hi, folks. Gold Leaf Refining pays immediate cash for gold, silver, diamonds, and coins. We also buy sports memorabilia, military items, U.S. and foreign paper money, musical instruments, fine art, comic books, and much, much more. All transactions are confidential. Our Gold Leaf associates are professional estate buyers and will give a fair and accurate offer for your valuables. So gather your unwanted gold, silver, diamonds, and coins and stop in today. Gold Leaf Refining, 42 New Hartford Shopping Center in New Hartford.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, portions of the program brought to you by New York Sash for windows, bathrooms, siding, and doors. They've been transforming homes across central New York for over 3 decades. 35 plus years of experience. They're locally owned. You get a lifetime warranty. It's all made in the USA. And their installers are trained and do a tremendous job. So go to their website, newyorksash.com. You can visit their Idea and Design Center on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. It's New York Sash, 349 Oriskany Boulevard, Whitesboro, or go to newyorksash.com. Some comments from Manaski here, and then I've got some stuff to wrap up Monday morning.
Okay, so Lance followed up quickly to say, does he think local government should also have term limits? Let's see, that was a comment from Lance about Senator Griffo on the term limits. I have something here. It's a screenshot from Reddit, but it's something, I don't want to speculate, but it's something somebody's saying about why the Brewfest event is no longer there.
Okay.
Do you want me to go with that? I don't know if this is true. I don't want to spread rumor. It's about somebody who used to be in charge of it is no longer there, essentially. That their position was taken off the books, and they're not part of the zoo anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know that. So I'll just leave it at that, or do you want me to get specific?
Your call on this. I don't know what you're looking at.
Because I don't know if that's correct. But essentially that somebody who was there for a long time and had a hand in planning events like these.
Is Gary no longer there? Is that what? Because Gary's the one who started. I mean, once you say that, Gary's the one who started Brewfest, and I was a part of that in the very, very beginning. The first Brewfest, he came in the studio with a cooler filled with bottles of beer, and we did some sampling, and that's what launched it.
The message indicates that somebody who used to have a hand in planning and organizing this and other events is no longer there.
Okay, let's see. I have a few things. There is the I'm trying to figure out which one I want to go with here. The pickleball player, we did that. How about an elderly man in Florida was pulled over by police for allegedly street racing with another car. You know how fast he was going? 110 miles an hour. Here's William Bosworth, the old man, after being pulled over.
So is there any reason you guys are street racing? Because you're 110 and he's 125.
That guy, he swerved at me, and he shouldn't have done that.
Okay.
I am out just having a little ride in my favorite car.
So it was a road rage incident.
He swerved at me, and he shouldn't have done that. So I sped it up to 110 miles an hour to teach him a lesson.
Speaking of old men, this is pretty sad. Rod Stewart is doing his final tour, maybe his last tour ever. Yeah. He says the show must go on. He told his Utah audience on Friday night, after he had to stop in mid-show on stage when he was singing his song Young Turks, after he had to have oxygen.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's the end of the song when he was just propping himself up. It looked like he couldn't even stand up straight next to the drum riser, but still continues on with his vocals.
Take a break! The show must go on. But I really did a fight up there, tell you. Would you mind if I sat down for this one?
I kind of wonder how much of that was his show. It's like, listen,
He sounded fine.
He did. I need. I have to get oxygen. I mean, I will do whatever it takes to give you your show.
It's 81, by the way.
Only 81. That's a young age, considering Greenspan just died at 101, maybe?
100, I believe.
100. Legendary TV producer, director James Burrows died on Friday. He was 85. He was responsible for a lot of TV shows. Any ideas? What?
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Cheers and Friends.
Where everybody knows your name.
Taxi, The Bob Newhart Show, The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he
hits,
did it.
like real hits.
He did a lot of them. Yeah, here.
You're gonna make it after all.
All those old TV shows had some pretty cool, I guess, themes that went along. Davey, you probably watch some of his shows on your box.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Cheers, but I did like Taxi with Tony Danza
Taxi was really
and Mary
good.
Lou Hammer back in the
And
days.
what's his name?
Danny DeVito.
And Andy Kaufman.
Yes.
If you remember.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
What else did he was he creator of other shows besides Taxi and Friends? That's the ones that I'm
The ones, I'm sure many more. I'm sure others as well. I don't know the whole list exactly.
I am a fan of old TV shows.
You are a fan of old TV shows. What is your favorite old TV show?
Well, you can make fun of me right now because every Monday through Friday I have a set schedule from 4 until 7.
Okay.
I watch TV Land.
And what do you watch?
The Andy Griffith Show.
The Andy Griffith. Oh.
I only like some. I only like from season 1 to 5. They were the black and white ones. I don't really care for the color ones.
USA beat Australia 2-0 on Friday. They scored their goals early, and then it became kind of a boring game after that.
Yeah.
Welcome to soccer.
That could be the case.
A Louisiana man is a hero after rescuing 3 people caught in a dangerous rip current at a beach. I don't know if you saw a video of this. Wild. His name is Jordan Matthew, and he rushed into the water, first saving a young boy, then guiding one woman to shore before swimming back out to rescue another who was exhausted. He even carried one of the victims on his shoulder as he brought her to safety. Thanks to his bravery, all 3 survived.
When I'm coming back from dropping them off, they started jumping, flagging me down. The waves were crashing over their heads. Like it was a rough sight. She drifted out pretty far. I was telling her to go with the current. I don't know, they were exhausted. I didn't want them to run out of energy, so I'm just stay calm, you know? There's this thing I call absolute focus, and I activated that in my mind.
Absolute focus. He activated that in his mind and was able to accomplish his amazing goal, which saved all those people.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is pretty cool. We had the talk the other day about how couples today are not following through on the wedding traditions, you'd have the garter, the throwing of the bouquet, the official cutting of the cake,
the not getting divorced.
The not getting divorced, that's true. Mike says they should bring back the dollar dance. Do you remember the dollar dance?
No.
Really? It's certain areas, it's big. But a dollar dance would be the bride and groom would start dancing, and then you would walk up to either the bride or the groom and give them $1.
Okay.
Started out as $1 dance.
All right.
And then, usually the bride would stuff it into her brassiere. And then this time somebody might bring up a 5 or a 10 or a 20. Might be a $100 bill brought up. And they'd make the bride and groom would make all of that money in what is called the dollar dance. And sometimes they would go on for a long, long time. I'd have to play 8 or 9 slow dance songs in a row because of the dollar dance.
Oh, and they're slow dance songs typically?
Yeah, because they're slow dancing with guests at the wedding.
What's the question, Jeff?
I was going to ask, are you familiar with dollar dances? I don't know if you...
Well, his are a different kind of dollar dance.
Right.
That's a different kind of dollar dance. That's stuff it in the garter, right? That's,
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And the music isn't slow when you play the music. It's a much different, like, boom, boom, boom.
Outrageous.
Outrageous music.
I did it this past Saturday. They called me in to work down there.
Oh, you were working?
Oh, good God.
Yeah. Am I correct in saying there's only one
Right.
gentleman's club in all of this area now?
I believe that's the case.
Only one. And I'm not even sure, are there any in Syracuse?
Oh, yes.
See, we're asking the expert. Is the Foxy Lady still in Providence? I believe the answer is yes.
Yes, and I love the Foxy Lady very much. I've been thrown out of there several times.
Nice.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine at all. But nonetheless, only one left in the area, and that is located in Frankfort, New York. That's where the latest, the last one is. And then anything else? We have Kilmeade coming up in a few minutes.
Of course, when they called me.
News top of the hour. Okay, we're going to learn more about Davy's dance.
Of course, when they called me to ask me to come in,
You're a DJ, by the way.
It was short notice. They called me at 9 o'clock. I was sleeping, so I never got down there until 10.
How does your loving partner feel about you DJing at that place?
That's a story for off the air. We don't go down that road.
We don't.
No.
She doesn't like it.
No.
Not at all.
Because I'll tell you the truth real quick.
Okay.
when I do there, I have a different attitude. That's all I'm going to say.
What is your attitude?
Like I'm kind of mean.
Okay. You're mean.
It's a different.
As a DJ?
It's just a different attitude. That's
You're
all I'm
mean
going to say.
Davy. You're mean Davy as a DJ.
It's just a different attitude. That's all. And I'll tell you the story off the air.
Okay, we don't want to tell it on there unless you wanted to.
No. N-O-N-O.
Not mean Davy.
And you have a good day, folks.
Thank you. All right, he put a stop to it. We're out of here. Enjoy your day.
Meet Anthony Constantino, running to represent us in Congress.
First off, you. I see through your game.
Wannabe rapper, wannabe Republican. But he can't rap his way out of reality. He's a lifelong Democrat who helped fund Trump's impeachment. After the George Floyd riots, he called our cops racist and sold Kill the Police stickers. He claims he's America first, but he shipped jobs overseas, even replaced workers with robots. Anthony Constantino, worse than a wannabe. He's a fraud.
And I know just how this ends.
The real conservative in the race? Robert Smullen, a Marine colonel. He fought for our country. Smullen was appointed by President Trump and will fight for the America First agenda. He's the Republican conservative and law enforcement endorsed candidate. On June 23rd, vote Robert Smullen for Congress. Proven patriot, ready to serve.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. If you have substantial assets, a delay in planning can cost you. It takes time to reduce taxes and protect assets. Planning ahead can save money and ease the stress on your family. We employ multiple strategies to protect what you have built. Call us for a free analysis of your tax and asset protection issues, because the smartest plan is made early.
Hilton, you know the name. They know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Hello, Oneida and Herkimer County Republicans. I'm Charles Potter, your candidate for the 118th Assembly District. I would be honored to earn your support on June 23rd. With 14 years of dedicated service as a county supervisor and the only candidate endorsed by the New York State Conservative Party, experience matters. Please vote for Charles Potter on June 23rd. Early voting starts on June 13th. Paid for
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Tate Insurance Studios, your new